All right, we've rectified that. Hello, everyone. All righty, I need to find the video over here now. Let's discuss printers. That is the one that I want. All right. I know there was no sound because it picks up certain audio from here, and I did not want it to. I wasn't talking about anything. I was actually sharing the video out. But whenever I go live on here, it picks up a certain sound, and I didn't want it to interfere with it. So I turned the microphone off. So yes, I know there was no sound. This time, I know that there was no sound. All right. I hadn't started talking yet. I need to get back over to TikTok now. All right, and then I'm going to go live and we're going to go start it. As soon as this says I am live, we're going to get started. All right, I am live over here. Bam, 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 bam. Go ahead, throw a couple likes up. Let's get you guys in here. Hello, 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 hello. Welcome, 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 welcome in. We are going to discuss printers today. All right, we are going. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute, y'all. 1 second. Oh, okay. No, that's all black. All right. That was supposed to come out of my account. All right. Let's see. Let me find you guys over here. All right. There we go. Hello, everyone. All right. I tried to position y'all over here on TikTok to where I can somewhat like, if I look like in the middle, it'll seem like I'm looking at both of y'all because that camera's here. This one is the. Seriously, my light's going to flash on and off now, I think. But anywho, I'm hoping that it is where I can kind of like just go back and forth. My eyes are going to shift. I'm letting y'all know that now. Oh my God, seriously, what is going on with my light? Un momento. I swear, technology sucks sometimes. It's going to keep flashing. I'm going to have to just turn it off. I don't know what's going on with this damn ring light. Now it's flashing super, super fast. Hold on, y'all. All right. We're just going to turn that one off. I'll let y'all know now. It's going to be kind of dark in here. Well, it's not that bad over here for you guys because it's my phone. But when it comes to the webcam, technically it needs balanced light for it not to look crazy in here. So I'm going to look crazy, but it's okay. It's about the information. It's a paparazzi snapping pictures of you because you're a star. Oh, thank you, Christine. So it's going to look a little crazy. Okay, I'm telling y'all that right now. All right. But hello, everybody. I am Shakia, the professor of HS Inc. 365 LLC. We are the parent company of Silhouettes Anonymous. That's where I teach you guys how to use Silhouette Studio. I know, some people just think, okay, it's like a cameo machine, but I'm telling y'all, like, it's a really decent, like, we got to start to look at Silhouette Studio a little bit like how we look at like Photoshop, Illustrator, Affinity, like where people are like clamoring to learn those. It is a great foundational program. And so I spend my days trying to convince y'all and trying to educate you guys on the power of Silhouette Studio. And I'm not doing it because I'm sponsors. You guys know that I get no support whatsoever from Silhouette America. And I'm perfectly fine with that. I actually just happen to love the entire system. I have 6 cameos. So it's changed my business. And I always like to share that with you guys. But it really is a decent like starter graphic designing software. Everything from creating your logos, creating your thank you cards, your care cards. Like you can do all of that in that program and even in just the free one. So y'all don't sleep on Silhouette Studio. I know it's not the Photoshops and the Illustrators and the Affinities, but it really is a great place to start. If you can learn designing and understand like subtract, which is like, like Illustrator is like a little bit different, or understanding like your edit points, that's your pen tool and your brazier tool and all things like that. Once you start to transition to other programs, it will make a lot more sense. I promise you it will. So don't sleep on it. But we're also the home of the Honestly Speaking brand. We currently sell Sublimation ink, Sublimation paper, pigment ink. So I'm going to go over that. We don't sell dye ink or eco solvent, but I can give you guys information. That's what we're going to discuss, like pros and cons of different printers for different methods, and a little bit about like the different print methods and how they can be beneficial to you. And then, of course, 365 Creative Academy, where I teach you guys to unlock your creativity through several different types of like classes on business, on printing, on HTV, adhesive vinyl, paper decor, paper favors, and paper crafts. So much over on 365 Creative Academy. But what we are going to do today is talk a little bit about printers. You guys, I see like some general, like you got me on. It's like, okay, well, let me ask her some general questions. I see some things that have popped up that are like general questions, but this isn't necessarily a general Q&A, and my Q&As and my videos are already too freaking long. Anyway, so I'm going to do my best to try and keep it where we talk about printers, but I'm going to sneak your question in right now, Becca, because it's on TikTok. And, I don't do too much here on TikTok. Yes, I have 6 cameos. I have 3 originals. I have a cameo 2, which I want at least 2 to 3 more cameo 2s. So I got to go on marketplaces and find them. I have a cameo 3, which I don't like, but I have to keep it for teaching purposes when people ask questions about it. But I'm not a big fan of the 3. And then I have a 4. So yes, I have 6 cameos. And then the other question was, if my tumblers are gritty, what do you think went wrong? If they are gritty, 9 times out of 10, it's because when the manufacturer made them, they were not cured properly. I had some that did that. And if you listen to them, they sound like really, really rough compared to others. What you can do is pop them in the oven, like with nothing on it. Make sure you just wipe it down so that if there is something on it, it doesn't burn. But before you put the design on it, try putting it in an oven. You don't have to, like, you can do like 250 or 300. Put it in there for a couple of minutes, maybe about like 10, 15 minutes or so, and let the coating on it like complete the curing process. And that can help with it feeling gritty. It might also be the paper that you're using. Some papers, they put off, like depending on like how it's made, if you do it too tight and things like that, and it's not properly cured, it can leave like a residue from the paper, because a lot of the papers, if you take your finger and tap it, it'll stick to it. So there is a residue on there that can stick to the spray that's on there. If it's not cured properly, it's going to stick to it. So wiping it down, you can wipe it down all you want, but when you heat it, that's how they actually cure the coating on it. So when you go and heat it, you are basically like not say activating, but it's also going through the curing process, and your paper will stick to it. So hopefully that helped. Okay. Speaking of printers for doing speaking of printers for doing shirts, is it necessary for a wide format? So that's exactly what we're going to discuss, Tanika. So stick around. We're going to discuss all of that and how the printers work and how it can be beneficial to you depending on like what it is that you plan to do. Okay. I use a tumbler press. I see a lot of videos that they don't tape the rim or bottom. My colors don't get when I don't do it. I mean, that's a general question. I'm sorry. Okay, I want to stick to printers. I really like where y'all at when I'm doing general Q&As. I'll probably, depending on how long this one lasts, I'll probably try and do another reset like the entire lives and do a general Q&A. But we're going to discuss printers today. So definitely hold on to that question. Or if I do another one, come back because I do want to stick to printers today. Okay, make sure that you guys go ahead and double tap that screen. And send some likes so that we can go ahead and get more people in. No, you're perfectly okay, Heather. It's just that most times people, when they see me live, they want to be able to get all those questions in because I love doing this and I don't mind answering questions. But because the title is about printers, I kind of want to like really, really stick to printers, especially for playback purposes for Facebook and YouTube. Okay, I am located in sunny South Florida. So yes, I'm from Miami. Where are you guys from? Especially if you're watching on TikTok. Some of the ones over here on Facebook, they are familiar names, so I know where they're from. Definitely, and if you're on Facebook and YouTube, definitely let me know where you are watching from. I am in South Florida, Texas. All right, so let's get into this. Like I said, we're going to discuss printers for pretty much everything. Sublimation, because I always get questions about like print and cuts and stickers and like what's the best ones for like chip bags or things like that. A little bit of like the eco solvent because that is all like trending right now. And people do ask about DTF. I'm not into DTF like that, so I can't really like fully advise on all the different printers and converting them and all this stuff. But everything else, I can kind of handle that for you. Okay. All righty. So let's discuss printers. And I see everyone just like, yeah, I caught a live. Incredible evening, incredible evening, incredible evening to each and every one of you guys. Hello, hello, hello. Incredible evening, incredible evening. I'm rewatching the text effects. Can we say awesome? Learn something every time. Hello, hello. Questions about 7820 replacement chips. Go ahead and post your question, but we are going to address that, okay? Hello, hello, hello. It looks dark in here. My face looks weird from one side because there is no light on one side, so it's not balanced. But thank you though, Miss Cheryl. They need to sponsor you because not only do you know your stuff, you are one of their biggest advocates. I'm not. No, look. So let's get this straight about that one, right? It just so happens that that's the program that I love. I'm not necessarily trying to be like their biggest advocate. I'm an advocate for working smarter, not harder. I'm an advocate for helping my community get started in a cost-effective way, and it really is. So I'm an advocate for my people, and I'm gonna be honest about what works and what doesn't work in my experience, and I'm going to give that information to you guys. So I'm not necessarily trying to be an advocate for their program. I am Team Silhouette because of, you pick a side, but I'm more so like I'm an advocate for providing you guys, as much knowledgeable information from my hands-on experience and how it's benefited me. So that's kind of how I see it. That's why I don't worry about sponsorships because I'm not doing it for that. I'm genuinely doing it because it is something that has worked for me. I was, I guess you can say, an influencer first, and I was just doing YouTube videos like anyone else, just sharing what I was doing, sharing my craft, sharing when I was making stuff. And I would be a hypocrite if I try and like just switch up over like sponsorships. So I'm an advocate for teaching you guys about what works. Okay. Do I mentor? Yes and no. I'll address that one a little bit. I've kind of addressed it somewhat, but I'll I'll address it afterwards. Hello. Incredible evening, Professor and chat. So glad you're discussing this. I was just looking at printers on Amazon that may be on sale. And that's exactly why I did it, because there's a lot of stores that's doing, like, they're competing with like the Prime Days. So a lot of stores are running Christmas and July specials. You're going to see some stuff on Amazon for like Prime, and Epson may end up running a sale, or Office Depot, and all of those. So that is exactly why we are discussing this today, because Prime Day is tomorrow and the 13th. Yay. All right. So Michigan, Maryland, Tampa, my new home. We got to meet up. You're like a skip and a hop and 2 jumps away now. Maryland, I can't say it out loud. My son doesn't know. It was supposed to be August, like late August, but Labor Day weekend, we will be in Maryland, and I'm trying to do a meet and greet. So y'all be on the lookout for that. All right. I can't say it loud because MJ doesn't know we're going. All right. From Virginia, I'm not sure how close you'll be to DC, but, come on over, baby. All right. So Orlando, you are skipping a hop away as well. That's what we normally go at for the summer. Dallas, M-I, crooked letter I, humpback I. Mississippi's in the house. Alabama, someone else from Mississippi. Okay, hello, looking for a 24-inch Epson printer to convert for sublimation. There is no 24-inch printer. Well, I guess if you do, like, there are the other ones, but it's not quite the same. Like the 24-inch, if you're going to do it, just go with the actual F570. That's the best bet, because the other ones, the colors technically aren't going to match. So the best bet is 20. But we'll talk about that again. On my third pandemic printer, pandemic printer, Workforce 7720, they've all had head issues, out of warranty, and looking into replacing it myself. Have you ever did? Nope, I've never had to do one yet. Let's see, Missouri. I converted my printer to EcoSolvent, but I want to use it for permanent and glassware and tumblers. Can you recommend what to use? You can't use a converted EcoSolvent printer, but we're going to talk about that as well. You can't use it for adhesive vinyl. You need an actual, like, roll-in printer, like an actual EcoSolvent, solvent, or latex printer. I have to finish watching the whole information video on testing the Canon printer. It didn't work. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, I couldn't even get it to print. Like, it's the same exact thing happened. The magenta did not flow. So, oh my God. My head is itchy. Texas in the house. Belleville. Hello. All right. Hello from Maryland. Hello. West Virginia. Do you still use your regular oven for sublimation, or do you have a toaster oven? I use my Oster, which is a convection oven. Yes, it is in my kitchen. I cook bread in it. I cook macaroni and cheese in it. So I personally use the one that's in my kitchen. I'm not going to get into that, but yes, you can. To each its own, but yes, I use it. My family is not at risk. Georgia's in the house, Indiana, Alabama, Louisiana, and New York City. That's where MJ wants to go. All right, so we got all of our hellos out of the way. We got Wisconsin. Let's discuss printers, shall we? So I do have some very detailed videos that goes over a lot of the specs and, like, really comparing all of the printers. So for this part, I'm going to just kind of, oh my gosh, hold on, y'all, because look, it's an African-American girl thing, Look, this is not to my hair, this is a headband wig, and honey, right now these braids underneath is driving me crazy, Lord. All right, just had to get in there and scratch. I'm sorry. I'm pretty sure y'all have done that too. Get you a little rat tail and get all up in there. Lord, have mercy, Jesus. Okay, so if you really want, like, all of the details about those and, like, really breaking it down, definitely go check out the video that's on YouTube. Search Honestly SpINKing, SpINKing, the way that it's spelled here. Wait, I have to show y'all first. and then show y'all. So the way that it's spelled here is what you want to look up, and then type in EcoTank, and you'll see it says stop. Before you convert your printer, watch this video. So I break down everything in that, and then there's one that it goes over the current wide format printers for that you can use for sublimation, just like Epson's current wide format printers. So watch those two videos for like detail, like they're like an hour long of detail. So it's going to be a lot more detail than this. This is going to be kind of general about printers and stuff like that. Okay. I'm starting out new to sublimation. Help with a printer, please. That's what this video is about. So be sure to get your pen and paper ready. And if you miss anything on TikTok, there are no playbacks, but you can head on over to my YouTube channel, Honestly SpINKing, SpINKing, and you'll be able to watch the playback there to write down any information that you may have missed. Okay. And I'm gonna try and actually do time stamping with this one as well. Lord Jesus, I always get caught up and it's hard for me to time stamp, but I'm gonna try and do it. Okay, so she says, I need to start looking into another printer now. I see, so I'm here for this live. All right, cool beans. So let's discuss printers, right? For sublimation, most people here, or let me know also in the comments, are you looking for a printer for sublimation, Solvent, or are you someone that wants like a decent printer for chip bags, water bottle, like labels, candy wrappers, print and cuts and stuff like that? Let me know if you're in the market for a printer, for which method are you in the market for a printer for? Sublimation, Solvent, or like your regular prints for print and cut chip bags. I can't really discuss DTF. I'm not into it for DTF. So I can't really give you too much information on that. All right. So for sublimation, which is what most times people kind of come to me about, is like about sublimation, right? Epson has a lot of small format printers. Oh, you guys can't see it, but there's a 2720 right here. This is probably like a model from like 2 years ago. Their recent one now is a 2803, or it'll probably just say like 2800 series. And then you have like the 4700, you have 3710, you have 58 something, and like all these ones that like where the price goes up. The one thing that you guys have to remember is Epson did not make these printers for use for sublimation. They made them intended for home use, home office, small office use. So their price point, when it gets really, really high, it's not that the quality of these printers become any better with the higher price point. They are now charging you for each additional feature. So when it comes to the EcoTank printers, which, you know, they advertise as it being just cartridge free, meaning you don't have to keep replacing cartridges. There is, some people say it's chip free, which is technically not really chip free because that's how it communicates. There is print from and to know where those levels are. The printers don't, like EcoTank printers, they don't know where that ink level is. You basically just put it in there, like when you reset it, and it'll ask you if it's all the way full, if you only had enough ink to make it halfway full. So there is nothing that weighs the amount of ink in an EcoTank printer or even a workforce printer. So it's, you don't, like with an EcoTank, it's just a tank to where you don't have to keep changing out cartridges and buying that. You just put the ink in there and it's less expensive for the ink. But they did not make these printers for sublimation use. So with the smaller format ones, you're going to see some that are like $500, $700. Again, that video, I break it all down and the prices and all of those. Well, what those printers have, when you're going to, like, they're still small, you're paying for things like having a tray, like the 2720, right? It just has the rear feed. You can put paper back there. It will print out. Let me see. I'm going to try and turn it a little bit. It's junk over there, but that's a small format. This is the cheapest version. They also have, and you guys can't see, so let me, oh, wait a minute. You can look at my phone. So this printer right here, is a 2720, which is equivalent to what is now like the 2800, 2803, and things like that. With that particular printer, it feeds from the rear feed. It's the slowest speed as far as printing out. If you look at the specs on it, it's like, you look at the prints per minute, it's the slowest one. It is also not one that has like a high resolution. But the joy of sublimation is you really don't have to have a printer that has a high resolution because of the way sublimation works, right? So this one, like I said, lowest one you can get, it only has a back tray. It does have a scanner. As you go up in like different printers, like let's say from this one and the 4700, the only difference between the 2720, 2800, 2803, even I think it's like 2860 now. The only difference between that and a 4700, where you're going to pay an extra $100, you are paying an extra $100 just because it has an automatic document feeder. That means absolutely nothing if you're just wanting a printer for sublimation or a printer for EcoSolvent, or if you just need a printer just to print out your chip bags. So in a small office setting, if you need to scan documents, scan receipts, or you have like a stack of things, of course, that is more convenient to be able to put a stack and it's going to go through and it's going to, scan all of those versus putting one, lifting it, putting it, doing like going back and forth. So it becomes convenient for a small office setting or a small in-home business setting, or if you're just someone that has to scan a lot of stuff, it becomes convenient for you, for that person. So when Epson put it on the shelves and they're putting it out, it is priced higher for that one feature. And then depending on if you're in like a small office and you want to have one that's shared and stuff, you have like an Ethernet connection. That doesn't mean anything to anyone who just has it in their office and you're going to just do regular Wi-Fi. Like that means absolutely nothing to you. You have the USB. You don't need an Ethernet because you're not connecting it to a server. So from the 2803, like the 2860 is one to where it still looks exactly like this. It doesn't have an automatic document feeder. It just has Ethernet. That's it. And you're going to pay an extra 50 to 60 bucks for that. You don't need those things. Now, if let's say, I know a lot of people get them from like Costco's or Sam's, and they may have like rewards points. So by the time you let's say they don't have any of the small ones, but they have the 3710 or the 4710, all of these. And let's say you have rewards points, or they were running a deal, like it's on sale and you have rewards points. If you are able to get that printer for about the same amount as these, $199 or less, heck yeah, jump on it. Get on that printer. But it's no different than these. It's no different. It doesn't print any faster. It doesn't print any wider. It doesn't print any better. It's features that really don't pertain to a crafter. Okay. And then you're going to go up and you're going to have like this one. These are like $199. You're going to find one that's going to be $399. And the difference in that is it actually has a tray in the front. Some of those are actually like 700, 800 bucks. Same exact printer. It's no different in speed. Like literally, like I said, if you watch that video, I go through the actual pages and show you guys the specs. No different in it. The only difference is it has trays. There's one version that has one tray. So you can put like, let's say if you wanted to get them, you're doing sublimation, you can put like your 8x14 in the tray, leave your 8.5x11 in the back. That way you're not constantly switching out papers. But if you're someone that has different size papers, you got to keep switching out. That can be annoying. So they're charging you for convenience in having all of the different trays. Okay. Like actual front trays, whereas these, they don't have one. So when you're getting to the big boys, like the 58s and all those different ones that are costing you like $600-700, you're paying for Ethernet. You're paying, some of them have slightly faster speeds, but the resolution, it really is about the same. So you're paying, like if you get those, you're paying for features you don't need. That's why people are always saying you don't need those. Now, none of those printers, none of them are workhorses. They're not meant to be printed consistently, like constantly on them. They're not made for that. If you read the fine print, it'll tell you like each printer is made for a certain number of prints per month. So when you're going and you're printing and you're trying to run a business and you're printing out all these tumbler prints and prints for shirts and this, that, and the third, because it's not meant for that, you basically overwork the print head because it's not meant for that. You may not, most people don't have those issues with like the 8550, the 15,000, the 16600 with things backing up because those were designed to be workhorse printers. So when you're getting these, although it's the lowest price point, do understand that there will be times and it can be working fine one day. It can be working fine 1 second. You go to print something out, your magenta's gone, your cyan's gone, your yellow's gone. You're doing print head cleaning after print head cleaning, and it's just not clearing it up. And then sometimes when that happens, it's like it's overworked. You got to let it sit, and there's nothing that you can do. The more you do print head cleanings, you're actually making it worse because that's still working the print head. I know no one wants to hear that because you're like, I have orders to do. But when you go this route with these particular printers, they're not meant to be workhorses. So do understand that that is going to be one of the major cons. It's not meant to be a workhorse, and it'll have a tendency to back up when you're doing the small, like the least expensive printers. Now, if you want one that's like might be like a little more, look at the fine print as far as how many prints it's supposed to yield. And that'll tell you like how much of a workhorse it is. So if you want something that's going to be small, but if you need to be a workhorse because you plan on pumping out a bunch of different things, the 199 printer may not work for you. It's not going to print any different, but you might have to go with the one that's $300, $400 because you need it to actually be able to handle the amount of prints that you're wanting it to put out. Okay. But the smaller ones, they're great for starter. You are someone to where you are doing this occasionally. You may have 1 or 2 orders here and there, like every day. But if you go and you're doing 50 prints a day, 25 prints a day, every single day, that's not what this is for. That is not what this is for. When you're trying to get your feet wet, not going to do too many prints, you want to get one of those. Okay. If you want an EcoTank printer. So now you have, let's say like there are also workforce versions of printers as well. You have expressions. Those are decent printers. They are a little bit harder to find refillable cartridges, third-party cartridges for those. But any type of cartridge-based printer is always going to give you a better quality than EcoTank printers. Don't believe me? Watch my video. I showed the difference between a 7720 or a 7840, and when you go with a 15,000, what is that print resolution? What is that speed? The workforce outworks it every single time. So for a workhorse printer, workforces, expression printers, cartridge-based printers are actually better than EcoTank printers. They charge you more for these because of the ink. You're not getting ink for free. You get less like the quality is less, it's slower, but it costs more money. You pay $199 for this printer. There are some that are like $399. Back in the day, you used to be able to get like the 7210 for $199. I mean, even the 7720 was always on sale for $199, and it runs circles around this, and it's wide format. Cartridge-based printers will always be better than EcoTank printers every single time. Hello, Miss Cindy. How are you? All right. So, that's a little bit about these. So there are workforce printers that are small format. They will cost you a little bit more money, but they're meant to be workhorses. They're going to print faster. They're going to have a better print resolution. When it comes to maintenance, they're not going to have backups as much. Like I've gone and I've let a cartridge-based printer sit for 4 weeks. Go to print, absolutely nothing is wrong with it. Like it goes right back into printing. Because these have lines in them, the longer it sits, the ink starts to settle. It needs that constant push of ink through to try and, help keep it going. But the longer it sits, it is going to, it can dry up in there because of the way the print head is. It can dry up in there and it can start to settle and backflow. So you're going to have more issues with a EcoTank than you will a cartridge-based printer. Cartridge-based printer, the print is right on top of like the print head. It doesn't have to worry about tubes. So it lasts longer through like non-printing. That makes sense? You understand what I'm saying? All right. So that's that. And there, when it comes to the cartridge-based ones, like they still have like the 3640 that uses the 252 cartridges. Now the newer one uses like the 802 and the 702. I forget the number off the top of my head. It's a 37, because the other one was 3640. So I want to say the new one is like a 3740 or 3760, something like that. That uses a different cartridge. Those are ones to where right now they don't really manufacture, they manufacture them, but not a lot of people carry them because you have to order a certain amount and you end up with these and then they just sit as in inventory because people don't really push using those printers. People get them as like a last resort because there's no other printers left, but then they're like sick in the face because no one has the refillable cartridges for them. If we kind of normalize utilizing all printers and like workforce printers, people would like, even like us, would be more inclined to carry different types of cartridges. So now, like I said, there's a multitude of numbers. Any EcoTank that you see that don't have these following numbers, the only ones, you can write it down, get your pen and paper. The only printers that are EcoTank, ET printers, that, and if I can get somebody, as I say them, write them in the chat and then hit enter, right? All of them. The only EcoTank printers that are wide format are the ET 15,000. ET 15,000. You can't put a continuous ink system on a EcoTank printer. It is a CIS system. It is a CISS, a continuous ink system. So that's not for that. And I don't recommend continuous ink systems for workforces anyway. So 15,000. The next one is the ET 8550, 8550, 8550. That's the second one. Oh, well, let's go over pricing. So that one, so I don't have to go back. The 15,000, it went up in price. It is currently $700. It used to be $600. It went up $100. The 8550, wait, I said what? This is 700. This is 800 because I think that one is now $799. So I think I did that right. 700 and 800 because before it used to be 600 and 700. So 8550 is going to run you about $800. So 8550, 15,000, 8550. Then you have the 16600, 16600, 16600. That's going to run you now about $1,100, $1,100. And then you have the 16650, 16650. That one now runs you about $1,240. So it's about $1,240 for that one. So the only wide format, well, there's also the 7750, but that one's not as popular. So EcoTanks would be 15,000, 8550, 16,000, 16,600, 16,650, and the 7750. But the 7750 only prints 11 inches wide. Those are the only really 4 that we really kind of use, but like 5 desktop Epson printers that can be converted for sublimation or Solvent prints. Any other number, I don't care if that printer says it is $850. Yes, there is an 8.5 inch wide printer that retails for about $850. Epson has lost their ever-loving mind with that printer. I'm sorry. If it's not those 5 numbers I just named, they are a 8.5 inch wide printer. That's it. 8.5 inches wide is all you get. Now, the one thing that most people don't know is you can actually print 47 inches long. So if you wanted to do an all over shirt, instead of piecing together a bunch of like 8.5 by 11s, 8.5 by 14s, you can do longer prints. Every single Epson printer prints at least 47 inches long. The 8550, you can actually do 78 inches long. But every single Epson printer prints 47 inches. Did y'all know that? If you watch me enough, you watch me, you know. If you're new here, did you know that every Epson printer prints long? This is why we sell sublimation paper rolls. This is the tacky one. It can be kind of funky. Like for me, I like it, but you know, I want to get it in fast dry. But this is why we sell this on a roll. No, you can't just put this in there. You have to cut the sheets down. So anything over 8.5 by 14, because we sell 8.5 by 14 inch paper. Yes, you can use it. I always hear people say the max size is 8.5 by 11. Who told you that? My favorite movie, Coming to America. So with this one, if you want to do something that was 8.5 by 15, 8.5 by 16, 8.5 by 20, 8.5 by 36, you can do it with this. This is a Dollar Tree pillowcase. I printed this out as one piece, like one long piece. And I think this, I pieced it together. So this is two 8.5 inch. It's split down the middle, but I'm so good you can't even tell where it's split at. But this was done on this 2720. But I was able to, like, it's not 4 or 5 prints. It's one print, two. Wait, is it? Did I do it as one? I don't remember when I did this. Hold on, it might be. Yeah, because it's wider than 8.5. So this is 2 prints, but it's this long. I did not have to piece it together. Okay. So every last one of them prints 47 inches long. The 8550 prints 78 inches long. So if it's not those numbers, it's 8.5 inches wide. I always get that question. What size is this print? What size is this print? It prints 8.5. If it's not a 15,000, 8550, 16600, or 16650, it is 8.5 inches wide, or a 7750. 8.5 inches wide. That's it. Okay. All right. So now let's talk about the wide format ones. Y'all heard those price points, right? The least expensive wide format printer is $700. $700. It does not have a front tray. The 15,000 don't have a front tray. You got to print everything from the rear feed. No front tray. All rear feed, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think, the 15,000, it's because it's 20 sheets from the rear. It doesn't have a front tray. I'm trying to make sure I'm giving my information right. But if I'm not mistaken, the 15,000 doesn't have a front tray. It's all rear feed. But $700. Now, when we get to talking about the workforces, the least expensive workforce printer that will allow you to print 13 by 19 as well has 2 trays for $190. No, now it's not $199. It is, because we have $349. It's $249 now. Also, the 15,000, it has a small front tray. Okay, so it has one for small. I couldn't remember. I'm like, but you can't do 11. That's what I was. You can't do 11 by 17 from it. 11 by 17, 13 by 19, you have to do from the rear feed with that one. Yeah, it's not wide. That's what it is. I'm like, it's not wide. So, also share a thought. I was going to say, but the least expensive workforce is $249. The 7310 is $249 retail. The reason why, and it prints faster than the 15,000. The standard resolution is higher. The scan resolution is higher. It is a much more efficient printer, print-wise, and based off the features, than the most, like the least expensive workforce printer. I mean, EcoTank printer. Why? Yeah, they push it. And you have to remember, like, they're giving you, once you get to that level, they give you 2 years of ink. That ain't free ink. They're charging you for that up front. For a printer that is not that great, they're charging you for that up front. And you, like, you're converting it, you're not using that ink. And most of us don't have, I have about 5 sets of 522 ink, because I don't have time to go and put them on no marketplace and do all this to sell it. I don't got time for that. So either you're going to find someone locally, maybe, or you're going to throw it away. But that ink essentially becomes waste unless you are going to take the time to sell it. But they're charging you for that ink. You are paying, the printer itself and its features is not worth more than $200. You're paying $600 or $500 for ink. That's what you're paying for. If you really think about it, if the workforce printer, which it does the same exact thing, the cheapest one is $249, and it has 2 trays in the front. And here you are paying $700 for a 15,000, and you can't even print wide. You can print 11 by 17 on that 7310. And so you're like, when you really think about it, you are paying $600 worth of ink. $600 worth of ink is what you're paying for when you get a 15,000, because the printer itself is crap. Okay. So you have the workforce ones, but let's just stick to these real quick. So with this, the 15,000, you have a small tray in the front, and you have, you can put them in the back. The 8550, and it's also a 4-color printer. The 8550 becomes a 6-color printer. So now you have to technically put more ink in it. Here's something that you need to hear. You don't need the All right, there we go. No, my whole thing froze, so I had to reset it for y'all. So there's no photo black. I mean, there was no photo black. So they would take regular ink and put it in the regular reservoir as well as the photo black one. There was no gray ink. So you omit that. It doesn't mess up your prints, because that can only print out gray ink. You have to remember the 8550 is a photo printer. People print black and white photos. So to have the best colors for black and white, they have that gray in there. Gray is dark. Whenever anything is printing out in color, black is never a part of that combination. It is even if it's the darkest of blues, it can be navy blue. Black is not in that, because it's going to completely take over. You guys can hear me now, right? Wait, hold on. You guys are still saying no sound. Can you hear me now? I know it went out and I had to wait for it to reset, but you guys should be able to hear me now. This is black. This is gray. Wait, yeah. This is black. This is gray. They look exactly the same. So you don't gray I think it helps your color. When it's printing out the color part, anything that's yellow, green, purple, turquoise, whatever, mauve, hunter green, sage green, whatever it is, lavender, it's never using gray or black. For the darkest of colors, it's never going to print out the gray and the black for those, because when you put black in anything, what does it do? It completely takes over. So people were using it without the gray ink. If nothing ever goes in that tank, nothing ever prints out. So it's not going to affect it. We got it. I mean, to keep up with the Joneses. People were avoiding our website because we didn't have the gray. That's the only reason why we got it. But I kept doing videos telling you, You really don't need this. You don't need the gray unless you're going to print out a bunch of black and white. But even if you do that, put it on grayscale and you're going to get beautiful black and white sublimation prints. But you don't really need this. There's no such thing as photo black. Photo black for regular printing is simply pigment ink. There is no pigment ink of sublimation. It's just black sublimation ink. The only thing that they did was most people that have the photo black and the regular black, their black looks rusty brown. And then the photo black is like ours where, well, I don't know why the lighting on here is making it look brown, but it's really not brown like that. I don't know why the lighting is making it look, but it's still not that rusty brown. So photo black for everybody else is now catching up to Honestly Speaking in that fact that they have this type of black ink. You don't need the gray. You don't really need photo black ink. You can take your black ink and put it in both reservoirs. So if you're ever like, let's say a company that you had, like you are going to, if you're not coming to us, which I don't understand why you're not shopping with on HS Ink 365. But if you go with another company, and let's say they don't happen to have black ink, don't happen to have photo black ink, who cares? Buy the regular black ink and put it in there. It's going to give you the same thing. There's no benefit to the two. If you really wanted to, you can probably even omit it. Well, it probably wouldn't be better. It wouldn't be best to, because it kind of gives you a mixture of both, like when it comes to the black ink, because it's supposed to try photo black or pigment ink is water resistant. So when you're doing like regular prints, it helps it be like water resistant when it comes to the black area. But you can put regular black ink in there. You don't have to go and get a special photo black because there is no such thing as a photo black. They did that because the 8550 says on their bottles photo black, but that means that the regular black is dye ink. The other one is a photo black ink. There is no photo black for sublimation. It's just sublimation ink. Okay. Even for the photo 22, I have no idea what a 2200 is that requires light black and gray. I have no idea what that one is. I'm only talking about the 8550. So these look damn near the same. So you can't, gray doesn't help your colors at all. What will help your colors are like the artisans and the ones that have light magenta, light cyan. I think there's some printer. It's one of the ones and it has like a red or something like that. I don't know of anyone that makes like the red sublimation ink, like for those type printers, but those in a regular print setting, if you're doing chip bags, if you're doing things like that, those will be beneficial to you because you're going to have a higher color gamut. But for sublimation, they really don't, like they make cyan, magenta, yellow, black, light cyan, light magenta, the gray now, which some people say it messes up their colors anyway. And then there's also the fluorescent ones. But you're not going to find too many people that are going to be carrying like all these different colors like reds or oranges. Like if you have a printer that has all those colors for sublimation, it's going to be your cyan, magenta, yellow, black, light cyan, light magenta, and that's it. So that's really the only thing when like the difference, but it prints great. And it is also a great printer for chip bags, labels. It is a photo printer. It is going to give you amazing colors, and the color gamut on it is going to be absolutely bananas because it is a photo printer. It offers more colors than the other printers, like in how it prints. But that's if you're going to use it as a regular printer, The only downside of it is, again, it is a dye-based printer. The ink is very dark, which is why it gives you richer colors. But if you're wanting to use it for something that could potentially get wet, or if you want to use it like for Capri Suns and put it in ice, or water bottles and put it in ice, you're going to have to use waterproof paper because the ink will run. Pigment ink is water resistant. I'll talk a little bit more about pigment ink when I talk about the workforces. And then now you get into like the 16650, the 16600. With those, they are super tanks. So the only major difference is like one, they're all in ones. You're going to get your ADF, you're going to get your fax machine, you're going to get your scanner bed, like your regular scanner. And it's a super tank. So it's going to take a lot of ink. You don't have to worry about, like, that's one where it really is like 2 years of ink, because I mean, that tank, you see it, is huge. These are little small cutesy tanks, but with the 16600 and the 16650, they are super tanks. They are pro. So it holds more ink. In those boxes, it comes with 2 sets of ink. So that's what you're paying for. Now you're paying $1,000, not because this is some super amazing great printer. You're paying this because now it had, like, you're looking at a printer that has an automatic document feeder. It has it has 2 trays in the front. It has a higher resolution, and it prints a little bit faster, the 16600. You're paying for that ink. You're paying for that ink that is in there. The printer that is comparable to that is a workforce, where it's an all-in-one and has 2 trays, is the 70, now it's the 7840. That printer is $349. $349 for the exact same setup. Fax, automatic document feeder, scanner, 2 trays in the front, 13 by 19 prints. It's $349. Here's the EcoTank, and they're charging you $1,100, $1,200 for $700 worth of ink. That's what you're paying for. Okay. The 16650 and the 16600, exact same printer. Only difference is you're paying an extra $130 for 2 or 3 pages. Like, I think it's like 2 or 3 pages faster print speed, or might be like 3. No, it might be like 5 pages. So an extra 5 pages of print speed. But if you are not someone that is like, when you're doing an office building, and let's say you got to print out a bunch of presentations, that's beneficial to you. For sublimation, it's detrimental to print that fast, because sublimation paper needs time to dry. You don't want a printer that's going to print super, super fast. If you've never seen the big boy printers, the 36 inches, the 44 inches, if you've never seen them in action, go watch a video of someone that's really printing out. Those issues print slow as molasses. It goes and it prints and it's just coming out. It don't go zun, 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 and it's just, it's just pumping it out. They print fairly slow, so that, like, when it comes to printing onto the sublimation paper, and with a desktop, because it has pinwheels, you don't want it to print fast. So having a faster print speed does not benefit you when it comes to sublimation. But no one really talks about this other than the professor, because, I like to give y'all all the good information. I like for you to be well informed. So that's a big difference. You're basically paying for ink, and when you're converting it, you're not using that ink, so it's not beneficial to you. So those are those great printers. If you need to print a lot, especially if you're using it for regular print. If you are somebody that does a lot of chip bags, a lot of you do a lot of chip bags, you do a lot of labels and stuff like that, you want that efficiency. So it may be best for you to spend $1,000 on those EcoTank printers, because you don't have to worry about constantly changing. They are workhorses. They're going to print out and just they're going to print and print and print and keep on going. You're not going to have too many issues with the lines backing up or getting air pockets from overuse. So if you are doing and you're going to use just the regular ink, they're going to be perfect for you. They are also pigment ink printers. So the 16600 and the 16650, they are pigment ink. So if you're needing that waterproof factor where you can print on just regular paper, they're going to be great for those needs. So that's a great one for printing small banners. I have several pictures. You guys have seen it. It's the 16600 is comparable to the 7720. So you guys have seen where I've printed small banners with my 7720. Great for that. Colors are amazing, especially on glossy paper. It's just absolutely amazing. So those are those. All right, let me go over here because I think I may have had some questions about these printers. I don't see any over here on TikTok, questions about the printers. If you need ink for the 2800, just go to our website. All ink is the same. There is no special print. There's no special ink for EcoTanks really, or like workforce printers. Like they're pretty much the same. Now we have ours and it says like Formula B because it was slightly different than our original formula. They sent us a bad, like it's not a bad batch, but it was slightly different than what we normally get. And they had to replace it because we wanted and I hated the labels on it. But because EcoTank printers use dye-based ink, you weren't going to see a major difference in the color. But no, like there's no company overseas in China that makes a specific ink for EcoTank printers. We have it on our website because they sent us a different batch. So to get rid of it, we market it. It's Formula B. It's for the EcoTanks. But I did the video. I showed that there's no major difference. It's just that it wasn't our signature colors. So for those who are used to our signature colors, we didn't want there to be like an issue. So we just did that one if you have an EcoTank printer. But there's no difference. Some people, it's hard to keep up with Epson's number change. So you may see someone, they have like 2720 listed, 2703 or whatever. They may not have 2800 listed, but any ink, any sublimation, I don't care where it comes from, but preferably, honestly speaking, you get it and it works in every single printer. There is no special ink for each individual number. Okay. Quick turnaround. I received my paper and ink today. Thank you so much. You are very welcome. All right, let's see. What did I miss up here? So they do have a front tray. She says, wait, but tell me about the cheaper printer because I can still take mine back. I just brought it. We're about to get into that right now. Can't believe how much the price for the 16650 costs now. Yes, it is extremely expensive. My last 7720 still won't print yellow from graduation. I guess I will have to purchase an original ink. I mean, that's always a good troubleshooting to see if that helps. Let's see. I'm looking at the L1300. I'm not familiar with that one. I'm going to start talking about the workforces now. You just bought the 15,000. Yeah, I know the sound went out. You can hear me now, hear me now, hear me now. In other words, not good. I'm not saying it's not good for subbing. It's just, it doesn't provide any extra benefits when it comes to sublimation. But all Epson printers are great for subbing. It's just what pro or what, like, you have to weigh your options to figure out what's going to be best for you as far as cost and things like that. Okay. I had a double. Okay, we're not answering those. Sorry, I can't really answer that. Maybe at the end, I'll go back to that. Sorry, I had to come to Facebook, but I just brought the 2800. I need sublimation ink for that. Visit our website, shop.hsink365.com. All the ink. Oh, that's Doreen. That's the same one that's over here. Yeah, just go to the website. All the ink works for all of the printers. Click on the part that says EcoTank printers. Get that ink, Formula B. I think months ago, people said they had problems with some of the printers when upgraded to 5G internet. Is that happening? That's another thing we're going to talk about. Why did some of these printers change? Great information. My Epson 7840 printer is worth $400, fast and efficient. Exactly. We're going to talk about workforce printers. And okay, if you need a wide format sub printer, I had the 7820, 7840 for your pigment ink jobs. Would you convert that to sub? We're about to talk about that and just buy another ink printer since the ETs are so expensive now. All right. So we're about to talk about workforce printers. She is like, let's see. Thank you so much for beginners and regular printers for sublimation for tumblers and shirts. Is this the 2720 best? So if you're doing just tumblers, it works great because, and if you're doing, well, should I say, if you're doing 20-ounce tumblers, you can fully wrap with a 8.5 by 11 print. You can print it on there. But if you're doing like 30, if you're going to do like the larger ones, 30-ounce tumblers, and if you're going to do like certain ones for tapered, it doesn't, if you're going to do a lot of full wraps, it's not going to be quite as efficient. But if you do ones like, oh, I don't even see it in here. I have one that's not a full print. People always think with sublimation tumblers, you got to do a full wrap. I actually sell a lot of tumblers where they aren't full wraps, and I don't even see the main one that I want to use. I normally keep it right here for this purpose, for talking about it, but I don't see it. But I do a lot of tumblers and things where it's not full wraps. I mean, just because it's a sub tumbler, don't mean you got to do a full wrap. Where is my tumbler? So if you're not, like, let's say like for the 30 ounce, if you're not going to do a full wrap, yes, you can use the 2720 or the 2803 or the 2800. You can use those. But for a full wrap, you can't do a 30. You're going to have to split it. And that means you're going to have 2 seam lines on your tumbler. For shirts, if you're going to do, like, of course, you have 8.5 by 11, 8.5 by 14, up to 8.5 by 47. So that means either width or height, you only have 8 inches of print, or 8.5. It'd be 8.25. You can, people always say you cannot do a 3X shirt with a 2720. Yes, you can. You can't do a super long one. But let's say it's someone and they just wanted, if I wanted to put my logo, I had someone that worked for me and I wanted to put, honestly speaking, on the shirt, I could use a 2720 because I can do 14 inches. The height on it is only, I think, at 14 inches. This comes out to about 7 inches in height. So people always say you can't do a 3X shirt. It depends on the design. If it's something that's a single line, you can do a 3X shirt because all you need is 14 inches across. The height is on, like, you can't make the height more than like, how can I say it? You can't stretch it out unproportionate just because it's a 3X shirt. If it's something that's a single line and when you stretch it out, it only becomes 3 inches tall, it needs to be 3 inches on this 3X shirt. I don't know why people think that if it's a 3X, you have to cover like this whole big surface. Go look at a Nike shirt, a polo Nike shirt that's a 3X or 4X. That check's still this big. Just because it's a 3X or a 4X shirt, Nike ain't go and put a check on it this big. That check is still this big. If it's the graphics ones, that check and that word Nike is still this big on that 3X, 4X, and 5X shirt. It ain't like they made it special to where it's going to take, they're going to stretch out their stuff because it's a bigger shirt to make it look like it's going to cover it. No, it's going to be proportionally sized. So can you do large form? Like, can you do large shirts? Yes. You just can't do a large, your design can't be long. I mean, can't be wide, and it can't be long, when it comes to those. But you can definitely do large shirts and you don't have to piece it together. You only have to piece it together if you're using the length and you're using the 14 inches. If it's longer than 8.25, then you have to piece it together. So you can do shirts if you are just starting out and you don't have like a lot of orders and you have the time to piece it together. You can definitely piece. Like I said, this right here was pieced together. This was done on live, so it's no smoke and mirrors. I did this on a live video. I printed out 2 8.5 by 11. 8.5 by 30, 32, 36 with my roll paper. I taped them together, and then I pressed this. This is a Dollar Tree pillowcase. Plain paper setting. This is not premium matte. This is plain paper setting. Okay, that's what this was printed on. And then here's the other side. So, all right. So you can do all those things, but you'll have to piece them together. If you want to simply do mugs and tumblers, or you want to do small things like keychains, staying small. Just because you do sublimation doesn't mean you have to do all this big stuff. You actually can make more money selling smaller, lower priced items where you can print multiple of them on a page, get more of them done. You can actually offer better pricing and offer better discounts with the smaller items because you can print more onto a page. You can make more money off of the smaller stuff than trying to market some of the bigger items to people. But Y'all don't want to hear that part. Y'all just want to get to the big bucks, and y'all want some stuff that y'all can charge 25, 35, 40 bucks from. But don't sleep on those things to where if it's like something small and you can sell it for 10 bucks and you can now sell hundreds of those versus the thing you're trying to sell for 35 bucks, you can barely get 10 of them out the door, but you can go and sell all these small ones. I'm an advocate for Team Small, but y'all don't like listening to me about Team Small. So I stopped talking to y'all about Team Small, but hey, that's just me. I was just on your website. I need chips for the 7310. Did they come up with, no, they're not going to come up with a resetter. Give it up. My vendor says he highly doubts that because the way that they have to program them, a resetter will not be available. You're just going to have to keep buying the chips. My 7720 still prints line cyan. That we're not talking about fixing them. The swoosh, yeah. When you get screen printed items, the frames are the same size. I talk about that too, but see, they don't like to listen to me. Who was that? Graphics Z Digital. I say that all the time. I even have this video where I went into Walmart and I was showing these designs. It says Florida. From the extra small to the 2X, you hold all of them up together. Guess what? That ish is the same size. As smaller businesses, we tend to think that we have to go and customize it for every size. If they want a small shirt, we're going to have it a certain size. Now, if it's just small shirts, yes, you customize it. But then it's like, okay, you want to make a certain size for the small, certain size for the medium, certain size for large. You got to keep up with all that. That's team too much. Time is money. Big companies don't do that. They got one screen and they finna press from an extra small to a 2X with that same one. And however it fits on this shirt is how it fits. Oh, I've been stopped doing that. I have some shirts. I've shown those before. If you're new here, I got a bunch of dang on content. So I made these shirts for my son's football team with screen print transfers. And I did youth sizes. From a youth small to an adult 3X, all had the same transfer. It's just that on the youth shirt, it takes up more surface space. And on the larger shirt, it just doesn't take up as much. But I was not about to pay for 30,000 different prints. I did that one time. Never again will I do that. Talk to me about Team Small. I want to hear about the small sales. Oh, see, over here on TikTok, y'all want to hear about it. But see, I've been talking about that for the longest on Facebook and YouTube, but they don't want to hear it. They want to know about the big items. I need to see. Not using my 7820 daily. So there's lines in the print when I do, So there's lines in the prints when I do use it. What's a good solution? You shouldn't have lines in the print. I've gone and I have not printed on mine, but if you're having major ones, you do what's called push air. I have a video for it. So search Honestly Speaking, push air, or Honestly Speaking, fix broken lines, and you'll find that video. Sorry, I may have missed you speaking about, nope, I haven't gotten to EcoSolvent yet. I haven't gotten to that yet. You have always told us this, and it's true because that's what I'm on right now. Small items. Yep, I finally came to so y'all starting to listen to me now. Oh, that's so nice. Y'all starting to listen to me now. Oh, you better say it. Small jobs pays the. Wait a minute. Oh, wait. So y'all were listening to me. Oh my God. My bad, y'all. My bad. I thought y'all wasn't listening to me because I've been telling y'all Team Small, baby. Look here. A good mug will make you way more money than a tumbler. I'm telling y'all, a good mug make you way more money. We're not talking about sizes. I'll try and do a genuine Q&A afterwards. Okay, so I can quit holding my breath, waiting on new chip. Yes, you can stop holding your breath. It's not going to happen. Can we talk about the 7840? Is it good for sublimation? Okay, yep, we're going to talk about that. We're about to get into that right now. I want to know about the small items, please. Oh, y'all want to know about them now. Make sure that you guys have subscribed and follow me. Been in the bushes, friends, but I'm here. I'm working. Hey, love. All right, so she got that right. Small items has paid a lot of my bills. I know that's right. Look, Y'all be listening. Oh my God. Look at y'all. My bad. I underestimated y'all paying attention over here in Facebook and YouTube land. All right. So let's talk about these workforces, right? Anybody that knows me, you've been around here, been around for a while, y'all know that I am team workforce all day, every day. I love my workforces like I love my silhouettes. I am team workforce. Here's why. You get a much better print quality. Like out the gate, the DPI, especially when you're using it for regular prints, when you're doing chip bags and labels and stickers or things for your business, you want to create your own thank you cards, you want to create your own business cards. You go ahead, you put it on premium matte, you put it on photo glossy, you're going to get the best prints. Like the resolution, they have like the best resolution. Then the waterproof factor when you're doing those. So I am an advocate for workforce printers, and you get more bang for your buck. Now, of course, back in the day, the 7610, 7620, 7210, 7710, 7720, and 7110. Well, I think I said backwards, but 7110, they're the best ones because they have auto reset chips. Unfortunately, the newer workforces, it's harder for them. Like they're no closer to getting that. And according to my manufacturer, because they have to code each chip. With the other ones, it can like that one code could be reset. With the newer ones and the way Epson works them, each one has to have almost like a new serial number. So you cannot reset them. You cannot reuse them because of how they have to program them. And the way that Epson made the firmware for it, they won't be able to really do a reset option. So we can kind of give that up. That's not going to happen. Okay. So, so with the workforces, you get more bang for your buck. Any and every Epson printer can be used for sublimation. The question should never be, can I use this Epson printer for sublimation? Every single Epson printer can be used for sublimation. How many Epson printers can be used for sublimation? How many printers can be used for sublimation? Every single one of them. So write that in there. Every single Epson printer can be used for sublimation. There is no question. So people saying, oh, I want to get this one. Can this one be used? Is it good? They all print the same. Here's the thing when it comes to workforce printers, which I forgot. Dang it. Oh, wait, no, they're here. Hold on 1 second. And I think this time I have a pigment ink one up here. Whoa. I finally have pigment ink in my room. All right. Here's why. If you have issues with your colors, especially your reds, the other con of EcoTank printers, some people may not notice a major difference. But whenever you've had both printers, oh, baby, you can definitely tell the difference. This, and this. I don't have a black one. These are dye-based inks. This is what the EcoTank printers come with. Y'all see this? These are dye inks, okay? These are dye inks. Even with the Canon printer. See the difference in the Canon printer ink and the Epson ink? Damn near the same, right? Well, a pigment ink, when it comes to yellow, looks like this. This is pigment ink. This is what it looks like. This is dye ink. Okay? Y'all see the difference? Yes, it's like colored. It's like food coloring. So we see the difference. Now, let's look at sublimation ink. What does the sublimation ink look like? This one is sublimation ink. What does the sublimation look closer to? This is sublimation. This is pigment ink. This is dye ink. Sublimation ink looks like dye ink? I don't think so. I don't think so. It looks like the pigment ink. This is dye ink. This is pigment. The workforce printers, like the 7820, 7840, they use this ink. So when you are using this, you are going to get closer to accurate colors without ever needing any type of color profile, because it's opaque. It's damn near the same, right? When you put sublimation ink in a printer that's like this, and this is yellow. Let's take a better look at sublimation, pigment, and dye. This is damn near black. So in a workforce, you're going to get closer to accurate colors without ever needing outside profiles. When you do this, because it is a much darker ink, this is why you get a lot of those red overtones, because the ink is so different. Let's take a look at pigment, sublimation, which this one is a bit darker. The sublimation is darker for this, but then it's still not as dark as this one. It may look like it, but if I hold it up, it's not as dark. Okay. So when you're using EcoTanks, when people always wonder, why do my reds turn out orange? Why is my teal not teal? You know, it's not as tealish as it should be, because it ain't meant to print out that kind of ink. It processes the colors, and how it prints it out and mixes it. It's based off of a darker color, which again, there are a lot of benefits. I'm not going to get into it, but there are a lot of benefits to using dye inks. For screen printers, they prefer to print their transparencies with dye ink because it is going to block the light. So it works out a lot better when they're doing their transparent. So there's a lot of benefits to dye ink, but we're not going to get into that. But as far as it relates to sublimation, you're going to get better color for sublimation from a workforce printer because it's closer to the color. EcoTank printers, your colors are always going to be slightly off. You're going to have to use a color chart because the colors are so different. When it comes to EcoSolvent, the reason why EcoTanks work better for EcoSolvent printing, look at the difference. Okay, so if we're talking about this, the color gamut, or like the colors of it, is damn near the same. So when you're putting these in your 15,000 or your 16,650, no, you can't do 16,650. 16,650 uses dye ink, pigment ink. But when you're putting these in your 8550s or your 15,000s or your 2720s for EcoSolvent prints, your colors are going to be closer to accurate because these colors match. Am I still frozen on TikTok? I don't know why. They're saying I'm frozen on TikTok. Okay. So this is why a lot of people like to use any dye-based printers. Because even with, damn it, it's not over here. Well, this is the Canon. Well, the yellow is a little bit different. It's not as dark, but it's still dye-based ink. So they work better. And if you looked at like the Canon, Canon is a dye-based printer, which I thought it would work, but for some reason I can't get it to work. But this is the ink that you would use. It's the same consistency, so I have no idea why it never works. And a lot of people will say they have an 7820, 7840, 7310, and they put EcoSolvent ink in it. And they say, oh, the colors are accurate, whatever. But when I look at them, like when I look at the prints, like I'm looking at, I'm not sure if it's just their cameras. Faces and certain colors look so washed out Blues look so washed out. Like, to me, it's nowhere near being accurate when you're using the workforce printers. And maybe I just have a different standard of what the quality should be. So I personally never really recommend using the workforce printers for EcoSolvent. That's where your EcoTanks are really, really great for, because it's going to be closer to that color gamut. So for EcoSolvent, if you're wanting to do that for heat transfer vinyl transfers, you can use the EcoTanks. They are better than the workforce, in my professional opinion of knowing colors. They're going to be the better option. Workforce printers, to me, are a better option for sublimation. The reason why most people don't like the workforces is the chip situation. We've become so spoiled by the thought of EcoTanks and just having to fill it and go. You're not getting a better quality. Remember, you just wasted $700 of ink. You just wasted $700 of ink. Well, let's say, let's say from this one, it's what? Let's say for a wide format, it was $700, and we're talking the cheapest one, what I said, $249. Before, it used to be so much easier before all this stuff. So $650. Wait, did I say right? No, $550 if you're doing that one. Y'all know, whatever. Did I say right? It's 700. Wait, now it's $700, and then it's now $250. $450. Hey, my math all right? 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, $450. My bad. I had to do the math real quick. So I can't be out here in the streets like I don't know how to do my math. But $450 of ink, right? Well, the chips are $60 for a set, $17 each. In the grand scheme of things, over time, after you get through 10 sets, well, really not even 10 sets. I was thinking the old way used to be a little bit easier for me to kind of break this down. So let's say, I'm not even going to try and do this. Let's just pull up the calculator. Anybody got time for this? So 450 divided by, so 7.5 sets. So after, we don't mention other companies by name. We are an amazing company here. So we don't mention on my platform. We do not mention other companies by name. So if you guys could please refrain from doing that. Those companies don't give you information like this. If you can show me a video where any of those companies have ever broken down this information for you guys for free, let me know. Then you can post their names. But I ask respectfully that you do not post those names here, because I'm the one giving you guys this information. Okay. So 7.5 refills. If you get to 7.5, now remember, with our paper, you don't have to use premium matte. You can use plain paper. This was printed plain paper setting. This is not premium matte. You see how rich those colors are. This was printed plain paper setting, not premium matte. Plain paper setting. You see how that black looks? Not premium matte. Plain paper setting, not premium matte. Plain paper setting. Plain paper setting, not premium matte. So when you're using a really quality paper and you don't have to waste, you don't have to use premium matte. Premium matte is going to eat up your prints like immediately. Like you're not going to get as many with it. EcoTanks have spoiled us, and we don't think, if you had a regular printer back in the day, you had to buy a cartridge. Well, those cartridges at XL size are $30 a piece. You're able to get them for $17 just for the chip, and then you just refill your ink. So it's 7.5. If you are someone who is a hobbyist at doing this, right, then you can, maybe for you, it's like, I don't want to spend that kind of money. Like, I'm not making much money off of this. That seems like a lot. But you now have 7.5 refills that you can do before you reach the amount of a EcoTank printer that you're not using the ink from. Remember, these printers, The same quality, it's no different than these cheaper printers. You're actually getting less features and less quality. You're paying anywhere from what I said, $450 to $700 in ink cost. That's what you're paying for, that you're not using. So if you go with a workforce and you're buying the chips and buying these things, it takes set for the smallest one, it's equivalent to 7.5 chip exchanges or cartridge replacements. If you're doing this for business, you should be pricing based off your supplies. The reason why you guys complain about the chip cost or having to replace chips or having to do these things, the reason why there's complaints on that is you don't know how to price. You're doing this whole supplies times 3 and this, that, and the third because y'all listen to the wrong people when it comes to pricing. So my people, when it comes to mine, like they know how we price. Unless, now they decide they don't want to kind of, adjust to the pricing structure and using the pricing calculator. There's so many people that say, ever since I started using that pricing calculator, baby, I don't question prices. It lay it all out for me. And I know what I need to charge to actually make a profit. When you go and you are accounting for your supplies, you are accounting for your overhead, $60 for a chip is not going to mean anything to you. If you are trying to price to keep up with somebody else because they're using an EcoTank, you can't price your stuff based off of what somebody else is using. You have to calculate for your overhead. You have to calculate for your supplies to create your prices. So if you have, it's not like you're going to have to go and charge an extra $5 a shirt because you're using a workforce printer. So if the average EcoTank user is charging $25 for a shirt, you may have to charge $26 so that you can continue to buy your chips. But you guys are thinking about pricing the wrong way. That's why it seems like, oh my God, I gotta buy chips. Oh my God, I can't keep up with this because you're pricing the wrong way. If your business is making money, it's a business expense. It goes under your supplies. It becomes a write-off to help bring down your tax debt. You don't get the full thing back, but it helps bring down your tax debt. When you go, okay, I made this amount of money, but I had to buy this much in supplies. It's kind of a little benefit because, see, those who just get an EcoTank printer, they only feel it once. They have nothing to deduct to help their tax bracket, their tax obligation go down. When you got to keep buying supplies, y'all know that help you, right? It's more of a benefit to have to keep buying supplies than, okay, you just have this stuff and it just kind of goes, because now you don't have anything to help you at the end of the year for your taxes. Oh, they don't teach y'all that, huh? They don't teach you the benefit of making purchases for your business instead of trying to make everything stretch, because when you run a business, you want things that's going to bring that down. So the more purchases you make, the more that you have to deduct. Oh, but wait, they don't like to talk about that kind of stuff. It's okay though. All right, I'm here to help you. So with the workforces, it's going to be cheaper out the door. You're going to be able to go into the store and get one cheaper. You're going to have a better quality print. You're going to have a faster print if you're doing like regular prints. And if you are tight on money, you can get these chips as as you need them, compared to like starting off with $1,000 printer. It's $1,000 printer. Okay. So it's going to do the same thing, if not better. The only thing is you got to buy chips. That's the only difference. So, but if you go and once you kind of learn how your printers work, learn based off how you print, you may know, okay, to save on shipping, I'm going to buy 3 sets because you're saving on shipping. Or every time, hey, you can pay $8. So instead of paying $60, you're going to pay $69 every single time, $70 every single time, because you got to pay for shipping. That's on you. Or you can get 3 sets and just pay that $8 one time, because it's still $8 to $9, no more than $10 for shipping, even to ship those out. We've shipped out ink, paper, tape, and they still was paying $8 because we have great rates on ours. So, $8, $10 somewhere in there. That's the only thing. Like, the only downside is replacing the chips. And then, of course, some people say, like, when not the only downside. The other downside is because you have to replace the chips and there is no chip resetter, you may get to a point to where once it runs out and it gets that X and it says cartridge not recognized, it's going to stop in the middle of your print. So yeah, you've technically wasted a print. But if you've never broken down your cost, on our website, we sell 8.5 by 11 for $18.30, right? So let's say with shipping, so $18.30. Let's say you're in Florida. Well, you're in Florida. Well, let's just put it Florida. So we're gonna times 0.107, 19, and let's just say plus, put down the middle. Let's say $9. So it's gonna cost you $28.50 for a pack of 8.5 by 11, 100 sheets. Cost per sheet is 28. Let's just round it up because it says 28, of course, 28.2858. So let's just take it up and say 29 cents. So a sheet of paper will cost you 29 cents. If it happens to stop, that was 29 cents, and it's less than like 2 cents of ink. You guys are constantly thinking like, what is the final cost? So most of you, let me know, true or not, when a print mess up, you're not thinking I'm only losing 28 cents. You're thinking I charge $20 for this shirt. You're looking at that one print like it's messing up as if you lost $20. But you have to remember that that's a profit. But all you're really losing is 28 cents. 28 cents. And you don't have to worry about all that extra maintenance of certain EcoTank printers. There are a lot of benefits to using a workforce printer. A lot of benefits. A lot. Okay. She says, haha, I need to find a business school for my stuff. Check out my creative business program when it opens back up in the fall. My 7720 still works good. Mine does too. All right. Let's see. The pigment. Okay, you guys were answering my questions. I want to put okay, wait. You want to put Solvent ink in which one? Okay, wait. I missed something. Let me go back. I watched your video doing my research. You gave great information. I want that printer. I want to see a demo of it in about 3 weeks. Okay, wait. What printer I missed? Stacy, what printer are you talking about? Hold on. I got to go up. Which printer? Which printer? Is the XP 15,000 a good substitute for a workforce printer for sublimation? You can use a chip for any Epson printer can be used if you have a refillable cartridges with compatible chips, if it has a compatible continuous ink system, or if there is a chipless firmware. You can. It's a pain in the butt to do the chipless firmware, but if you're able to install that chipless firmware, yes, you can use it. All right, let's see. All right, which printer? How often do you have to buy chips? No one, there's no real way for me to tell you that because I don't know how much you're going to print. I don't know if your business is you book to capacity and you have a bunch of orders going out. I don't know which paper you're using. If you're having to print on premium matte, that's going to eat up the prints. With our paper, you print plain paper setting. It's going to stretch a lot longer. Are you printing a lot more 8.5 by 11, 11 by 17? If you're printing 13 by 19 inch prints, all of those things kind of affect how you would have to. So what you'll have to do is really, if you're doing that, a part of business is knowing how your supply, how you go through your supplies. So you'll have to maybe it'll take like a full set, maybe 2 sets on each printer. It tells you how many prints. So what you can do is before you put a new set on there, go to where it says print counter, write down somewhere, maybe tape of paper to where your printer is, how many prints it is. The minute one color goes out, go to the print counter and see how many prints you did. And that'll give you like about how many, and like you'll kind of, hopefully you'll know like if you're printing some more to 11 by 17, 13 by 19. But if you're constantly switching and having a mix, you're not going to ever really be able to tell you. All it's going to tell you is how many prints you did. I sure don't know how to price. I do have a class. I have a whole creative business that goes over that. But you guys are in luck. You guys know for the summer, I'm doing 7-day challenges. So there is going to be a 7-day challenge on pricing. And then there's going to be another one on setting up your business. Okay. Well, it'll be a part of that. So like pricing is going to be, and then we're going to also talk about like different ways to kind of get started with business, because you don't have to start with a website. You don't have to start with going to Etsy. There are ways to start your business and start going without doing all of that. Okay. Yes, you use way more ink when you use on Premium Matte. Way more ink. Way more ink. So every time it gets low, you would have to replace the chips. So when it gets low, you can continue to print. I was trying so hard to get my cyan to like go out, and I was printing all these prints, like major prints on my pigment ink printer. And I was trying to get that sucker to like go out, and it just would not budge. It read low. The thing is, people think as soon as it goes low, it's about to go out. And that's not the case. And on my pigment ink printer, I print premium matte. And it just kept going and going. I was printing 11 by 17 prints, and it just kept going. I'm like, well, damn, when is this going to run out? Because I was trying to test something. So just because it says low, guys, don't think that it's immediately about to go out. You keep printing until that ish stops printing and you get an X. Low ink does not mean, and here's the thing with the workforces, they are built to preserve ink, right? The downside of when it gets low with the newer workforces, it will print super slow because it's trying to preserve as much ink as possible. It does, though, it converts for you to where it's not going to print out as fast. It's going to take its time to try and stretch that ink. That is the other thing I love about it's annoying if you have a bunch of stuff to do. It is annoying when it gets like really, really low because it's going to print slow. If you're on premium matte, it's going to print or glossy. It's going to print so slow, but it really does stretch your prints to where you can get a lot more prints out of it. You just got to be patient with it. Set it at night, go to bed. All your prints will be done in the morning. It's a great feature, but it's kind of annoying if you're in a rush. She says, I know it takes me 50 pages of 11 by 17 before my magenta runs out. And are you printing on plain paper setting or premium matte? Can you print plain pigment ink? No, I don't recommend. If you're trying to get rich colors, no, you need to use premium matte or glossy for regular prints. For like chip bags or cutouts and stuff, you want to use premium matte or glossy if you're using a glossy paper, because of the way that's when you're getting that high resolution image. When it comes to pigment ink, what you see, or in even EcoSolvent, what you see is what you get. With sublimation, because it turns into a gas, would y'all believe me? Like if I told you this image right here is actually a low resolution image. This is not like if I go to my thing right now and show you guys, there's a lot of pixelation to this, but you would never know because of the way sublimation works. It gases off. So some of those like little pixelated areas, as it's gassing off into your substrate, it can kind of fill in those, and it's not look low resolution. Okay. All right. So, all right. I have a 7710, 15,000 living in both worlds. On the 7820, I read that one. Do you sell red and gray ink? No, I do not. See, I knew it was one of the ones that sell red. I don't sell red ink. We have gray ink, but I don't sell red ink. No. Are the workforces hard to convert? It's the simplest thing in the world. All these other ones show you like you got to do 30,000 print head cleanings. If you watch my videos, it's one print head cleaning. The part that hurts most people when it comes to converting with workforces is Well, with this one, you don't have that issue. The major issue is I'm going to show over here first. There is a hole here. This is your vent. These are your vent holes. These are your vent holes. What makes it harder, and you have to do a bunch of print head cleanings, is when you put it in the printer, you still leave the plug. When it's in your printer, it should look like this: a plug in the front, nothing in the back, because this allows for airflow. So when you you see these little things here, they're equivalent to like the tubes. So this allows for airflow. When you have that plugged, it doesn't flow properly. You're going to get an air block right here at the output port. And that's where you're going to keep having those issues. So if you plug this, and eventually nothing's going to come out. Whenever people tell me, oh, I don't have any colors, even if it's like backed up a little bit, you're going to have like broken colors. But when it's like really like nothing, it's normally because there's an air block, and 9 times out of 10, you still got the vent plug in there. Now, with the older workforces, they have a little circle on the inside. Now, what the hell? I put all my stuff here so I wouldn't have to look for it. And it probably fell on the floor. Hold on, let me stop. Let me stop talking junk. And, okay, I put it in my drawer. So with these, they have this little center circle. I've talked about this. Watch my fill and prime video. I go over this quite a bit. About this circle. Most people had this style cartridge, and they don't prime them. The ink does not come from in here. On this one, it's whatever's in here, it goes up through this tube and kind of comes out. That's it. On this style, I'm going to come over here first. I don't think you'll be able to see it. Hold on. Gotta take this off. On this style, the ink comes up through here and comes in here. This is the port where it comes out at. This leads up to this. So your ink actually comes from whatever ink is in here is what feeds into your printer. So on this side, the port, this is where the ink comes out. If you follow that up, it goes to this right here. So the ink comes up through this little thing right here. It fills inside the hole, comes out in here. Well, what most of you guys were doing was just simply putting ink on the inside, and you did not prime. So when it came to printing, a little bit of ink would come through, pass through here, and come out. So you're constantly getting breaks. If you fill it the right way, if you have the old school printer, you have an old school workforce, if you fill it the right way and prime it, 1 print head cleaning. When you do these, 1 print head cleaning. Now, with the 1 print head cleaning, that is starting with Epson ink. I have never converted a printer where I don't put the Epson ink inside. And every time I convert it, I have videos start to finish. I don't like editing, so I don't edit videos. So you're going to see from start to finish. So there's no smoke and mirrors. There's no, I did this, I stopped, I edited. You see everything. I start with my Epson cartridges. I even converted one. I had a printer that I used for 3 years with pigment ink. 3 years. And I did a whole lot of print. You go to my Instagram, you've been following for a long time. You know how many prints I do. Pigment ink, big cutouts, all this stuff. 3 years, I used it for pigment ink. And I went and converted that 1 print head cleaning. And it was ready to sub. My mom's 7210, 1 print head cleaning. And we had beautiful colors. Go check out the video. It's literally almost a year old now. But that is why. And then people were leaving this plug in. You don't leave this in. Once you fill it and prime it, this plug, when it's in your printer, needs to go bye-bye. If you have the one where the plug is up here, because there's certain companies where they don't have this. This is the best type of cartridge you can ever have. I really wish these were like that. When it comes to this, I don't get where my ink runs out. Now this one, I check it after so many prints. I check it and top it off. But this one, Once the printer tells me it's like out of ink or really low, I'm normally to this line right here. It never goes out on me completely. I love this style cartridge. And the chips are XL, of course. So they're not hard to convert. Start with your Epson ink for workforce or cartridge-based printers. Start with your Epson ink to set everything up. Make sure there's no air pockets and all that stuff. When you go straight to this and you introduce air, you're going to create more problems. But it's a lot easier to fix if you start with the Epson cartridges and then go to this. I print until that joker crosses its arms and refuses. Exactly. Can you use pigment ink in an EcoTank printer? 16600, 16650. Yes, you can. Can you put it in the 15,000 to 8550? You can, but remember, 2 different color gamuts. I don't know where the other one is. So your colors are going to be off. Watch my, I told you I got a video for everything. So if you watch my video, I show when I put pigment ink in the one that we have in the office, but I printed out stuff. So the pinks look very, very, like all the colors look very, very different. They're much darker because it's a different type of ink. Can you? Yes. Should you? No. What's the best printer for sublimation for beginners? There is technically no, okay. It all depends on what is that you want to do. They all do the same thing. If you mean by a beginner, you are not about to try, and just because you got this printer, you're saying, I want one for a beginner. For me, for beginners, you're not running a business. If you are a beginner, you're not running a business. I'm getting my feet wet. I'm getting used to it. I might print a couple prints a day, a couple of them per week. It's not my main thing that I'm doing. As a beginner, I'm just trying to learn. I'm not making this a workhorse. So then you can get like the 2720. If you don't need to do large prints, if you are a beginner, but your goal is to do large prints, I'm going to have to recommend the large format printers. They are all the same. So there is no, let me get a large format printer, but I only want to pay $200. That's just not going to happen unless you do a workforce printer. So there is no best printer for beginners unless you're just looking for a printer to get used to the process, and you're going to pay $199. And then in a month or two, if you feel like, okay, I got this, I need something that's going to be a workhorse, you're going to then spend $700, $800. To me, it's still a better investment to spend $199 and maybe find out that you don't like it versus spending $700 and you don't like it. Or if you spend $199, you love it, it's working for you, you're making money for trying to do it for a business, then your business should be paying for you to go ahead and now upgrade to a workhorse type printer, getting the higher grade EcoTank printers, or getting getting F570, or getting a workforce printer. You have this work for you until you can get one. But I don't believe there's like a true one, because people always say, oh, I want a beginner one, but then they're upset when they have to constantly piece together. Can you do larger prints with a small format printer? You definitely can. But if you're running a business and you're trying to be efficient, it is not efficient. You can do it all day long. But the time to go and print them out, cut them down, piece them together, that eats up time. If you are someone where you are a beginner, you don't have a lot of orders. But what you should not be doing is trying to do 30 all over shirts with a small printer. That's dumb. I don't care what nobody says. That's dumb. To try and do, you want to take on an order of 30 shirts, all over shirts, but you got a small format printer. That's crazy. All the piecing that you would have to do for that is ridiculous. especially for the amount of money that you're going to get. So if you're saying you want it as a beginner, as like my mom, as my dearly departed grandmother would say, you need to stay in a beginner's place or stay in a child's place. If you're wanting it for a beginner, don't go into it where you're going to now think that this printer is going to make it where you can run a full-fledged business off of a printer that's not meant for that. Or you're going to stick to getting used to it and you're going to do small items. But if as a beginner, your goal is, I want to make shirts and I want to be able to do large shirts, you have no choice. If you want an EcoTank, as a beginner, your starting price is going to be $700. There is no $200 EcoTank printer that's wide format. Pigment ink for darker shirt. So you can. I do use them for Jet Pro 3G. I use them for chip bags. Okay, technically, something like this can be done with pigment ink. Pigment ink is just regular ink, and if it gets wet, it's waterproof. It's not waterproof, it's water resistant. So the ink will not bleed. With dye inks, if it gets wet, the ink is going to bleed. But pigment ink is used for stickers, labels, invitations, printable transfers, labels, tags, care cards, big print and cuts, centerpieces. Like, it's just regular everyday prints. You can print out photos. All the pictures that we have hanging on our wall, print it with the pigment ink printer because you can print photo quality with it. My yellow ran out in my 7840. I thought I can print black and white, but all printing stopped until I changed it. So if you have the actual Epson cartridges in there, it will it'll say I think if you have black, it does a composite. But if you need to do just black and white, yeah, it won't print. But if your black gets low, it'll tell you can do a composite print where it's going to put more cyan, magenta, and yellow to make up for the black. Would you recommend sublimation or EcoSolvent for when it comes to, okay, so let's talk about EcoSolvent real quick. Oh my God, we've been on here for 2 hours. Where in the hell did 2 hours go? How do I always do this? I come on, I think I'm going to be on for not so long, and I end up being on here for 2 hours. Where in the hell did 2 hours go? It is almost 10 o'clock here. Who stole my time? There's no way I've been on here for 2 hours. I don't feel like I've talked to y'all for 2 hours. Okay, we're going to talk about EcoSolvent in a minute. All right. I converted my 7720 watching your video. It was very good and easy to do. Do I sell the chips? Yes, I do. We definitely, okay, hold on. Let me pull, I don't know how to change y'all over here so y'all can see it, but hold on. I can't show, I'm trying to do it for TikTok. Hold on. But I'm going to share with you guys over on Facebook land and YouTube. All right. So we're going to add to the stream and bam. Oh, woo! Shoot, I had to drop my mug. All right. Hold on, y'all. Let me figure out how to get y'all. So I think we have to go to enhance and flip the camera. Boom. There we go. All right. So on the website, all you do is click right here and you click on that. I'm going to create thumbnails for pigment because more people are starting to want to use it for chip bags and stuff. So I'm going to create some thumbnails for pigment ink, but it's technically the same thing. The only thing is different is these, when it comes to the kits, it shows sublimation ink. So these, if you want just the cartridges, and you can also get a set of chips, which I don't know why I thought he fixed that. So you can get the cartridge syringes. They come with chips on them. They do come with, see, it says with chips. So the original cartridge comes with it. It's not like we're not giving you a discount on it, so you can just go to the cartridges, just to the chips. But if you go back here, now you go to replacement chips. So that's just this one. You're going to go on here. It's a full set for $60. Each individual color is $17. So if you're someone that goes through a lot of magenta, you may want to order an extra magenta chip. We now have it where you can order the chips individually. But we do carry the chips, and they're for the 7820, 7840, 7310, and C7000 printers. Okay. Can I show what again? Can I show what again? Hey, just say. All right. Oh, can you show where the plug for, oh, it's the front one. Okay, I'll show that again. All your videos are bomb. Do you still use sublimation ink? But, oh, hold on. I'm going to show you what happens if you use sublimation ink. Hold on. So I'm a horrible hoarder of things, but I'm always like, I can't get rid of this stuff because one day I'm going to need it. So I'm going to come back to this and show you, when I flip it around, I'm going to show you what happens when you print sublimation ink on Jet Pro 3G. I brought an Epson 3760, thinking the higher number, the bigger the print, and I can only print, well, it's not 8.5 by 11. You can print 8.5 by 47 inches, but yes, it's not. The only ones are the ones I listed for wide format. The bigger the number, you get more options, not bigger prints. Do I have chips for the 7720? You don't need chips for that. We don't sell the individual chips. What you can do, I'm going to go up here to essentials, and you will simply purchase a replacement set of cartridges. We do not sell the chips because these you can reset. You can get a chip resetter for this style. So we do not sell chips for it. And unfortunately, at this time, we do not sell individual colors. And the price point on it is really great. It's $25.63 for a full set of empty cartridges. So you would just purchase a new set of a full set of empty cartridges and use the colors that you need. So it doesn't matter if it's pigment ink or sublimation ink. It's the same one, and you would buy this. But we do not carry chips for it because, I mean, look at the cost of this. This is, of course, wait for the whole cartridge. And that's only because of how they charge us overseas. Yes, it seems very crazy that you can get a whole cartridge for $25, but you got to pay $60 for chips. That's because of how much they charge us. We really only make about 50% on those, if that, because they charge us a lot for just the chips. So no chips, but you do have the cartridges. Here, I'll put it in the chat over here. I can't do it on TikTok, but I can do it over here. Let's see. So we don't, okay, answer the chip question. Do you like sublimation over DTG or DTF? DTG is something that I really want to be able to get into. DTF, I'm not a big fan. Like, I'm not the jump on the DTF kind of like bandwagon. Like for me, it's not this, ooh, wow, life-changing thing for me. DTG is a lot different. And I would, once we get a print shop, I would love to have a DTG printer. Sublimation, they all do different things. They serve different purposes. So I'm not going to say one over the other. Like, I personally still like HTV. Doing HTV provides you a different type of quality than sublimation or DTF, DTG. Like, it's a certain look to it. So it still has its place for me. And I actually thoroughly enjoy using HTV, but not one over the other. I don't choose them because they serve totally different purposes. My son said, yes, you have. I picked him up from football practice at 6:30. I'm sorry, son. She gonna go make dinner and stuff. My bad. So for EcoSolvent, you would go with a workforce over for EcoSolvent, I would go with an EcoTank printer. If you're doing EcoSolvent, an EcoTank print, so the 15,000 or the 8550, and you don't need gray. A lot of people avoid the EcoSolvent because they avoid the 8550 for EcoSolvent, thinking that they need the gray. You do not need the gray for EcoSolvent. You do not need the gray. So you can get just the regular colors. And for black, you have to order 2 blacks, and you will put the black in the regular reservoir as well as the photo black. You can omit the gray in an 8550 and still use it for eco solvent prints. So hopefully that helps. Okay, so when it's time to change the chip, we just pop out the old and replace it, but use the same cartridge. Correct. I'm going to flip it around and show that in just a moment. I came in at 1 hour and was surprised you were still on. I agree, Professor. I enjoy doing HTV. Yes, I still like HTV too. My 7720 has ink in it, the person I brought it from, but it keeps printing broken lines with the cyan. I have your ink. Should I change it out? No, what you're going to do, one, let me see how the cartridges are set up. If you're getting broken lines, it's either not primed or you have the vent plug in there. And what you'll need to do is follow my video for push air. You can either click, you're on here. If you click the link, it's going to take you to my link tree. And on the link tree, Epson Troubleshooting, how to properly fill and prime, and how to fix missing or broken lines. These 2 videos will help you make sure that it's filled and primed. This one will show you how to push air, and that will help fix that issue for you. It's so hard to get primer in Canada. What do you mean? I want to make tumblers. Do you want to make 20-ounce tumblers, or do you want to make 30-ounce tumblers? Do you want to do all full wraps, or are you okay with doing non-full wraps? I want pigment ink now versus eco solvent. Just coming in. Have you used? Of course. Heck yeah, I use my Roland BN20. I was supposed to be talking about eco solvent and comparing that. Give me a moment. Heck yeah, I love my Roland. What have I missed about pigment ink? So much valuable information. Thank you. What printer do you use for black shirts? Okay, so let's turn you guys back around and let's talk about some of these questions. Okay. DTF printers are not good business today. You don't get back all the work you have to do to maintain it. Time is money in business. Hobby is something different. And I will say the converted ones. I'm not sure how it does, like, when you have like the actual DTF ones, like Florida Flex, they have this big one that even like it puts the powder on there. There's a convection or a heat or conveyor. It's a heater at the end. And that one is from STS, I think it is. Those, I'm not sure if like they have to print every day, but they're doing transfers, so they're printing every day. They're closed on Sundays, so I'm pretty sure they're not printing on those like that day. So I'm not sure how that works because it's meant for it. But if you are printing, if you're doing a converted one, yes, I agree. It's not worth it for how much you have to maintain it, especially if you are doing other prints, to where, what if you end up with an order and you're just focusing on it where you spend 4 days doing sublimation? You forget about this DTF printer. So having to remember to send a print to it, that's just too much for me. So for me, I'm not a big fan of converted printers because yes, you do have to maintain them too much. I like HTV also, but I also love the eco solvent with my 15,000. Non-convert, non-converted starts at 16,000, but it's worth it though. If you're really wanting to get into it. All right. So let's flip you guys back around. And okay, hold on. I gotta flip. Hold on. I gotta flip y'all over here. Thank you for sharing, whoever shared. Oh, wait, no, not enhance. Enhance, flip camera. There we go. All right. There you guys go right there. All right. All right. Let's flip you guys back over. So, oh, this has a lot of goodies in it. Ooh, see, this is why it's great when I'm a hoarder because it makes for great information. So here is one of my friends. She passed away on my birthday a couple years ago. So this is like pigment ink. So I print like fans with it. Great, amazing colors, right? I have, like, this is what I do my grad fans with. This is all pigment ink. Okay. This is pigment ink. This is the kind of stuff you make with it. Stickers, labels, and stuff like that. You can use, this is Jet Pro 3G. This was before the pandemic. We've been in the pandemic for how many years? Was what, 2020 is when it happened, or 2019? When did we start? When did it get locked down? 2020, right? So this was made in 2019. This was printed in 2019. I can take this and I can press it to a shirt right now, and it will look exactly the same, right? I'm sorry, my 11-year-old is playing Fortnite. Sorry if y'all hear him screaming. So this was printed in it may have been 2018, but somewhere in there is when this was printed. Jet Pro 3G. I printed because I knew that I was going to have to do this one day. So I had the forward thinking to print it with sublimation ink as well. Oh, here is something else. So like, this is a chip bag print. Oh, come on. This is pigment ink. So a chip on glossy paper. So chip bags, pigment ink, amazing colors. So I knew this question would come up. So I took one and I printed with sublimation ink. Printed the exact same time, maybe a day apart, because I did that order first and then I did this. Printed on my sublimation printer. Y'all want to see what it looks like a couple years later? Let's remind you. Pigment ink. Jet Pro 3G, opaque. You see what happened? And even when you press it, because it's not meant to hold, it will print to it. But their sublimation works because polymers open up to accept the ink and then it shuts down around it. This is just regular paper, so it's going to print to it perfectly fine. But there is no part of this, there's no element, there's nothing, no particles of this that will close up and lock that ink in. So over time, it will continue to slowly seep out. Even if you press it. I don't have the one that my sister had, but I did one for her because I made a mistake and printed to the wrong printer. But she has one, and even like on her shirt, it starts to spread. It was starting to spread. So this is what happens when you print sublimation on Jet Pro 3G. It is not a poly or polymer surface. So it's not locked in, and it's going to do this. So hold on. Let me let you guys see up close here. So you can see how the colors bled. It got all blurry. I do not recommend doing Jet Pro 3G with sublimation ink. It will look good. It will look amazing when you first press it. And if your customer only wants it for, and they're going to just wear it one time or whatever, I mean, they may not care. They may not ever look at that shirt again. But I have shirts that were pressed. My niece's 8. My niece's 8, I think. Yes, because her birthday was right before we shut down, and that was her 6th birthday. I still have a shirt that I wear all the time and wash it, and it looks as good as day one. You have to watch old videos for that. But I never recommend sublimation on Jet Pro 3G. Okay? All right. Okay. So we're going to talk a little bit about EcoSolvent. I'm going to get my hand off here because I've been on here way too long. EcoSolvent. I've talked about it a little bit, with which ones. My recommendation would be the EcoTank printers. You want to get your feet wet with it, do smaller transfers, get you a 2720, 2800, doing 2803. We can't get 2720, 2803, 26, like all of those. You can get you one of these, put EcoSolvent ink in it. We don't sell it. yet. I mean, I'm like, I don't like selling anything I can't test. And I'm not trying to buy another printer. Y'all don't pay me enough to keep buying all these printers that I'm not going to use. I have a Roland. I got a Roland so that I can print to vinyl. This is vinyl. This is vinyl. This is vinyl. Actual like printable vinyl. When y'all are printing out all this other stuff and people saying, oh, I have EcoSolvent, I'm able to do stickers, I'm able to do vinyl decals. That's not vinyl. That's sticker paper. They may call it printable vinyl. It's not cast vinyl. It's not calendar vinyl. It's sticker paper. With EcoSolvent, you can print to regular paper. On mine, we can put banner paper in there and I can print, small 18-inch wide by however long banners. So I can do that on my EcoSolvent. If you get regular banner paper, like you go and you're going to probably have to cut it down. There's no banner paper that's made that's 13 inches or 11 inches to go in those printers. So you're going to have to buy the really big roll and then have somebody with a table saw go and cut it down to the proper size, preferably with a small blade. You get the thicker blade, it kind of comes out kind of crazy. Ask me how I know. So you want to be able to have that nice thin blade to get a really good clean cut, and you can put it in your converted printer and you can print to paper. You can print chip bags with EcoSolvent ink. That's the only printer. If you want to get one printer and you want to be able to do like the printable heat transfer vinyls, you can print. This is regular ink. It smells crazy, but this is regular ink. So you can print to paper. You can print small banners with EcoSolvent ink. It is not like sublimation. This is not heat activated. Once it prints is what you get. Now, this cannot be done with a converted printer. This on vinyl, this labels cannot be done with a converted printer. As far as printing to actual calendar or cast vinyl, sticker papers, if it's an inkjet vinyl, which is normally really, really thick, you can. But for low profile, thin, really good quality vinyl that's not going to like fade off in like 2.5 seconds, you cannot use a converted printer because it is water-based. It will bead off and run off of this. You cannot use pigment ink on this. It will bead off and run off. It requires that oil-based ink and it requires the heat. My Roland heats up when it's put, and it heats up on it. That's why this doesn't have to be heat set. But for EcoSolvent prints, it needs to be heat set. So you cannot print this with a converted printer. You will need a real solvent, EcoSolvent or latex printer for this. Okay. For things like this, you have to have a true one. But if you're just doing prints for HTV, you can use the EcoSolvent printers. My recommendation would be any of the EcoTanks, except the only ones that I would not recommend because they use pigment ink. Any EcoTank, 8550, 15,000, if you want to do any of the smaller ones, any of them will work. The only ones that I recommend that you do not use is the 16600, 16650, because they use pigment ink and your colors are going to not be as they should. I don't recommend Workforces because they use pigment ink. So I personally don't recommend Workforces. In my experience and me looking at colors, even when people are posting it, I'll be looking at them like, that ain't the same color though. Like, they're like, oh no, my colors come out great. Okay, can you show me a picture? And I'll be like, that's not right. That's not how their face supposed to look. They look washed out. Your blues look funny, but I mean, if that's the quality you like, maybe it's because you don't know any better. But for me, and the fact that I've done all of these different methods, I'm looking at that like, that don't look right. No, that's not right. So for me, I don't, just in my, you don't have to listen to me. I'm not saying that my answer is the final one. Do as you please, because you're going to see a whole bunch of people that's going to use these printers, but also pay attention to the colors. Pay attention to the colors and the way they output. And hopefully they're showing multiple videos and multiple. Don't go off of, oh yeah, this works great. It was this one picture. Okay, can you show me some more prints? Okay, we all wait. Can we get a group and y'all actually show your prints and let me see your screen? Have you ever printed this with sublimation? Have you ever printed this with a regular printer? Let me see a comparison, because it look crazy. Okay, so any EcoTank printer, because the colors, the type of ink, the color of them is very, very close. Any EcoTank except the 16600, 16650 will work for EcoSolvent. If you're doing sublimation, can you use any EcoTank? Yes. But my recommendation is always going to be a workforce printer or any printer that uses pigment ink. So the workforce printers, certain XP printers, and then the 16600, 16650, in my professional opinion, are the better ones for sublimation. I'm not saying that you're not going to get decent colors. It's going to be vibrant, but you have a tendency to have more issues with color with an EcoTank printer than you do a workforce. EcoTank printers, especially for, a lot of fair-skinned people, when you are using that printer, it tends to have a very big reddish overtone when you are using EcoTank printers. The magenta is already really, really strong. And EcoTank printers, it overpowers it. That's why you end up with all of these like really, really like red tones on pictures or lighter things when you really should not have them. This is why your reds come out more of an orange, because of the way that the colors mix and how they print out. It's not going to ever be 100% accurate with a workforce, but it's going to be a lot closer than with the EcoTank printers. Okay. I have an ET Subli printer, but only prints 8.5 by 11. I brought the 15,000. I'm debating to do EcoSolvent. So you can, again, it's going to be more beneficial for EcoSolvent, for printable transfers. All right. Okay, yeah, maybe that's what it is. A bandsaw. No, the bandsaw is the straight one. I don't know. That's my husband. That's my husband area. I know one. We got a big old table. I know it's one that has like a really thin one. It's one that is that the bandsaw? It's like this, and it has like a little thing like that. They have that one. He has a table one that has like this little thin blade that comes out, and he can push it on that. But I think that's more so for straight stuff, because you have to pull it. And then he has another one that's like a little straight one, and then you can cut that too. It looks like the kind they have at the meat market. I don't know. Him got a lot of cutting stuff. He used the one where it's the table, you clamp it down, and you go like this. Whichever one that is, that's the one him use. That ain't my area of expertise. It might be a bandsaw. I don't know. I'm trying to get that good to create designs like that on Jet Pro. I had to look and see who name that was. Don't have me give you the side eye. You are already that good. Don't play with me. Gotcha. Thank you for that response for the EcoSolvent. And Stacy, thanks for asking. My yellow comes out gold in the EcoSolvent. Which printer do you have? All right. What do I use for black shirts? So which printer do you use for black shirts? You can use a sublimation printer. You can use a... Where is print at? Hold on. Now, this part I was not prepared for. I was not prepared to show y'all shirts, but I'm trying to look for the ones I know that it was over here, because I just showed it. It's my son's epilepsy shirt. Where is this epilepsy shirt? Nope, that's not it. I was not prepared to show examples, so I think it's right there. For me, for black shirts, I typically tend to use Jet Pro 3G. I print it with my regular pigment ink printer. I have no problem using Jet Pro 3G. It has lasted a really long time. All right. you can use sublimation. This is easy subli. So you will print it out. And then for easy subli, because I have an Epson printer, I cut out the easy subli and then I press the sublimation print to the easy subli. I have videos for that too. Go check them out. I also do the same thing when it is like this. The reason why I keep this shirt is to show this shirt here is a Bella canvas. It has how much polyester? It has 65% polyester, right? Glitter and easy subli also. So with this one, the reason why this did not do it, because this, if I'm not mistaken, no, this is a polyester one as well. So it probably changed. Oh yeah, see, the white is not a pure white. So this is 40% polyester, and the whites in there are not like extremely white. But this is what happens. You have a high polyester count. These things don't have dye migration block. So instead of this being white, it looks kind of muddy because the dye from here bled through. So if I have a shirt that is polyester, has any amount of polyester, and I want to do this, you have to do like, you have to press it like in little spurts. If you use even Jet Pro 3G, it'll bleed through. I have a video where I showed that. But it will bleed through. So I have to do it kind of like in smaller bursts so that the dye doesn't activate and bleed through. Now that I have a roll-in, if I ever need to press to polyester, I'm going to either make what I call a glitter transfer. So I'll put it on Teflon or on parchment paper. I'll press to it first and then take it and put it on my shirt where I can do like a quick press at the lower temperature. I'll do it that way. Or I'm going to use Subli Thin on my Roland or any EcoSolvent printer. I'll use that if a shirt has polyester. But if it's just a regular cotton black shirt, I'm using Jet Pro 3G. Unless like somebody wants this, I'm going to use sublimation and I'm going to use glitter HTV. So that's what I'll end up using. I don't see it. I just showed it. I have a cap topper that was with glitter sublimation, with glitter sublimation on glitter HTV, but I don't see it right now. I don't feel like looking for it. But that's normally what I use for black shirts, or I'm going to use screen print transfers, or I will outsource it. When I can't do something that needs to be done a certain way, I have no problem outsourcing it. It doesn't take away from my money. I'm not doing that work. So why would I want to get paid for it? Because I price based off of the work that I'm putting in design, I'm pricing the right way. So if I have to outsource, I don't have a DTG printer. So it's not costing. If I had one, I'm going to have to pay for that ink. I'm going to have to pay for like that labor. I'm going to have to pay for like all of this different stuff. So when I outsource it, I'm not accounting for the work that they're doing. I'm not doing the work. I'm going to get paid for my design. I'm going to have my little markup, and I'm going to make something. I'm not doing the work. So if I don't have to do all this work, even if I only make $3 a shirt, $5 a shirt, I'm still winning because I have to do no work. I just designed it, gave it off, and then, hey, now I look good. I outsource in a heartbeat. I'm not going to run out and get equipment just because one person asked for a shirt and I needed to do it DTG. What the heck I look like investing $15,000 in the whole DTG system. And then, you do DTG, you got to pre-treat. And once you do the pre-treat, you got to then heat set it. Then you go and put the DTG on it. And you do know when it comes to DTG, you still got to heat set it again. So once it goes and prints, you got to put it back on the printer. Oh, it's not a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am type of deal. Like people go in there and talk about DTG. It's a lot of work. You got to pre-treat, heat, print, heat. It's too much. I'm going to let them do it. My design is fire and basically pay me for my design. I'm outsourcing it and whatever that cost is. But that's because I know how to price my items. Hush, girl, leave me alone. I know. You probably just got off the Peloton. 4,700. Your yellow comes out gold. It's not going, like, again, things like that will happen. It's not meant to. Like, if it's something that you are filling the color in on, go to our website, get the color chart, watch my video on how to use the color chart, and you're going to select. So as you can see, you definitely can get yellows that are not gold. Those are true yellow. Those are true yellows, but you have to know the proper color code to be able to get the true yellows. You have to know the proper color code to get the true reds. So it is possible, because this is from the 2720. Okay. So it is possible to get the colors that you need. You just have to put in the proper color codes. Oh, miter or chop saw. See, one of them, I don't know. That's not my area. I don't try and learn all those tools. It was the fan for me. Please show that again. Which one? The graduation one or the memorial one? Well, I'll show both. This is a memorial one. This is the grad one. Is the BN20 good for t-shirts, and do they last? Yes, they do last. And it's great for them. I personally don't use it. I personally like mine for stickers, but yes, you can. Can you print on the origin? No, you cannot print to any actual vinyl from a converted EcoSolvent printer. You cannot print to any printable vinyl from a converted EcoSolvent printer. It must be an actual roll-in. You have like, oh God, Moto, Epson has one. They do have like a larger one that you can use. Like Epson has one. Oh God, why can't I think of the rest of them? But it's an solvent, EcoSolvent, or latex printer, like actual one. It's an oil-based ink, not a water-based. Yes, outsource transfers if need be. That's when I support my DTF craft buddies. Exactly. I outsource that sucker. Oh, someone asks which hole. So on the newer cartridges, no matter what, it's always the front. Okay, here's the thing, how you remember it. Chip side is the front, non-chip side is the back. Whichever hole is closest to the chip side is your fill hole. And when you put it in your printer, it should only be a plug in there. Your back hole should not have anything in it. And I have no idea what happened to my long 812 cartridge. Where the hell did it go? Did it fall on the floor? I put it over here. I don't know where it went. I have no idea where it jumped to. But it's the front one. It's the one closest to the chip. That's the one that it stays in. The back one, you take it out. All right. So that was a lot of information. 2.5 hours of a lot of information. It's a lot to go through. Charmaine, I know I did not stay on task. I did not stay focused. So it's going to be hard for you to do the timestamps. I do apologize. You know how I get. But it's a lot of information. No, this will be very, very hard to ever watch all the way through. We'll try and get timestamps for the most important stuff. And put them on there. Give us a couple days. We'll have the timestamp. I'm sorry, Charmaine, for making your life a living hell in how I jumped around and not staying focused. I'm sorry. But whatever you don't have, I'll piece it together and we'll come up with a really good what's that thing called? Timestamps. Okay. So 2.5 hours of straight information. I just gave y'all a whole damn near class for free $99. So the least we can do is go ahead and tap that, 2 hours, and I only got 3,000 likes. I don't like that over here on TikTok. Y'all could have did better than that. I don't know how many likes I have over here, but hopefully it corresponds with how many people watch this. Oh, yes, I did answer it. You just changed it, but I was going to give you a visual, but I don't know where the cartridge is. But all you do is change it. Where did the cartridge go that fast? Oh, here it is. So I have a full video. I suggest. So I have a video that says how to change out the chips or something like that. It's under Honestly Speaking. So this goes out. You're going to take this off. The whole thing comes off. You don't take off the chip. Now, if you happen to be crazy enough to buy it from a different company other than Honestly Speaking or HSInk365.com, they might sell you just the chip and you're going to have to take the chip off. But we, however, sell it on a clip. And we made them give us clips because the first time they had the audacity to send us just chips. The hell am I going to do with these? So you literally slide the entire thing off. You discard it. You don't need this anymore. Maybe keep one without the chip on it just in case you ever need to if you ever need to test, like need to troubleshoot, you may need to have one so that you can take the Epson chip off and test it, but that's about it. So then you take your new chip and you put it on here. There's this little thing at the bottom, like this little lip. It's not on the old ones. It's this new thing. Epson changed up everything, how these things are. So it has this little thing on there. You take this, you put it through the bottom and push up, and you've changed your chip. It's that easy. Slide it off. Make sure, don't put it like this and try and push it in. It'll go in, but that's going to make it to where it may not read. Make sure that you put it to the bottom, line it up, and slide it up and click it in place so that the chip sits where it's supposed to be. And that's it. That's how simple it is. She says, thank you for all the information. Going to look on Office Depot for a Workforce 7820. Oh, so the only difference between all of those, 7840 has 2 trays. With all of those printers, you can no longer print 13 by 13 inches from the front. You have to use the rear feed for 13 inches. But from the front, you can print 11 by 17 all the way down. But if you're doing a lot of 13-inch prints, make sure that your printer is somewhere where you can access the rear feed if you're going to do a lot of 13-inch prints, because unlike the 7720, you cannot do it from the tray. You must do 13-inch prints from the rear feed. I forgot to mention that. Thank you so much for the wealth of information. I thank y'all for hanging out with me. I can't believe most of y'all have been here from I said hello to you and you're still here. So thank you for hanging out with me for 2 hours, 2.5 hours, over 2.5 hours. So I thank you. Before I get out of here, not only do I have a wealth of information about printers, if you are my specialty, it really is designing and learning how to create effective designs. Ooh, like this one. I actually enjoyed making this one. My favorite humans support my business 365 days a year. So it's like, it's not, it's not anything like what some people would consider to be major, but like creating this part and just knowing layout and spacing and making sure that things are centered and stuff like that. That's a skill to have. Like that is a good skill to have. And while I know printers like the back of my hand, I can teach you how to make shirts. I can teach you how to make fans. I can teach you how to do stickers. I can, like, the physical part of it. The one thing that I love to teach you guys about is how do you double tap the screen. So just tap the screen and it'll pop up some hearts. And you'll see it at the top where your name, like where my name is, you'll see the little lever, the little, the line go up. So just double tap the screen. The one thing that I love to do is teach designing. As creative entrepreneurs, your greatest asset to truly make money is going to be your ability to connect with your audience. And if you're someone, you're going to say you create customized things. A lot of us say, and we use the term customized items, and technically, yes, okay, they store and get a mug. This is the design they want. Yes, they can't go, maybe not be able to go in the store and get this exact mug. Even though this is a print that you did not design, you can print this over and over and over again. So in this case, technically, yes, you are customizing a design. But when it gets to like the personalized and really making your design stand out, when a client can tell you, okay, I kind of want this, and you can take what they're visioning and you can make it happen. That's where the big bucks come in. Yes, that's what we're talking about now. Do I teach design? Why, yes, I do teach designing. I help you think outside of the box in how you design. The way that I design, I'm always strategic. If you looked at my protecting my piece, how I asked you guys, did you see how I made that? Like, did you understand the concept to where I had the word like the P and the G surrounding it and how I put the emphasis? It's little things like that that's going to stand out, especially if you want to create your own brand. You have to know how to do that. So my specialty, even in giving you guys all this, I know printers like the back of my hand. I know about I can help you troubleshoot different things, sublimation or whatever. But my specialty really is helping you guys truly unlock your creativity when it comes to designing. My program of choice just so happens to be Silhouette Studio. Do I know the other ones? I sure do. I use Photoshop every single day. I have a basic course, but I choose not to. There are some amazing people who teach Photoshop when you're ready to go to that level. But getting a good understanding and getting a good foundation, you can do that in Silhouette Studio. And that's what I teach. So if you are interested, I highly recommend that you start with my Essentials to Silhouette Studio. It's $83.65. It is worth way more than that. I have been told that I need to by countless people. With the way that content is, it needs to go up. Consulted business coaches, you need to take that up. But because I know my audience and it's what I choose to do for my business, I'm not hurting. I'm at, a very good financial mark with, at that price. But I'm doing my best to help others get to that point. So if you go to my website, shop.hsink365.com, there is under like the main banner, it's called Essentials to Silhouette Studio. It is not something live. It's not a one-on-one session with me. I cannot. I have followings of over 50,000 people, and there's no way that I can teach 50,000 people one-on-one. So I do group sessions. I'm not always able to. Some people work different schedules. You have kids are doing stuff. So you may not always be able to attend one of my live classes, but I can guarantee you the playbacks are just as great as the live classes because you're able to pause it and work at your own pace. If you have to jump to a part that you really need, you don't have to wait until I do a live session. You're able to do it. So don't sleep on my playbacks. That Essentials of Silhouette Studio is going to be the most important thing that you can do as a creative. Don't look at it as just learning Silhouette Studio. The way I break it down and understanding when you subtract something, when you intersect something, when you crop something, when you make something a compound path, when you want it, like when you want to be able to do different things, when you want to trace something, it sets the foundation for every other program and it's going to make it easier. I know there was someone, my text effects class, I was like, when I did that one, it was my first time using Zoom. I did not know that once how I streamed it, it would put everybody's pictures on the side. So it blocked the tools. It didn't block what I was doing on the screen, but it blocked the tools. If you don't know where the tools are, you're like, dang it, I can't follow along because it's blocking because you're wanting to see where my mouse clicks. But if you already know what's there, and I'm saying you're going to go to the modify tool, it doesn't matter if you can see the modify tool or not. You know from Essentials, okay, modify tool, I know exactly where that is. Even if you can't see it on my video for text effects, you know where it is. It's important to understand the tools first. This is how I teach. People always say, well, can you show me how to design this? I sure can, but do you know how to use the program? Or I use a little bit, and then I'll go and I'll give a little test. Well, what do you do if you do this? I don't know. And they'll give me all these crazy answers. Then you don't know the program. There is no beginner is learning the program. Everyone asks me the 7-day challenges. If you want to experience me live and really see how I teach and the level at which I teach, join me for the 7-day challenge. If and some of you guys probably just found me, so unfortunately you missed it. It was $35. It is on sale. If you are on my email list, You probably got an email from me. You don't even know it because I'm going to your spam folder because you're not even, checking for my emails. But everybody on my email list did receive an email with a discount code because the price has gone up. But I still looked out for y'all on my email list and I gave you a discount code. So if you're on my email list, go search for your spam, go search your promotions, go find that email if you want to get the discount code. If not, the price is on the site for the 7-day challenge. We have 2 going. They start on Saturday. We're going over learning how to make SVGs. Technically, this right here is an SVG. We're going to go over what it, like the first day, we're going to get terminology right. So we're not really designing. It's going to be a lot of questions and we're going to understand proper terminology. So you'll know what to expect when it comes to this. So we're going to go and we're going to start working on learning how to make vector designs. And it's going to be from a beginner standpoint. Will you be able to make these grandiose things afterwards? No, because it's a beginner designing class. It is not a beginner silhouette studio class because I cannot possibly teach you. Hello, I took 30 days to teach all of the tools and what they do. There's no way that I'm going to be able to teach you all the tools and teach you designing in 7 days. So don't sleep and don't take for granted that essentials. It is going to be vital. The 7-day challenge is a beginner's designing class. There are levels to this. Been doing this since I was 17 years old. It takes time to get to certain levels and to be able to see designs and be able to automatically create them. Will you be able to go and create these images of like the girls with the big from scratch? No, not out the gate. Those are done by professional artists. That is what they look. They draw it out. So you're not going to be at that level. But I can show you how to modify designs to make them your own on a beginner level until you're able to draw them. So if you want to experience me live and really see how I teach and be able to ask questions and get your questions answered in real time, you get unlimited playbacks for it. Go to the website, sign up for the 7-day challenge. So enroll in that. It starts on Saturday. And that one is those are the morning sessions. If you really want to do design, even if you're not really wanting to do event decor stuff, it's still some designing, especially the banner day. We're going to go through some designing that you can use for tumblers, like because of how you're going to layer and all that stuff. We have another one that's event decor and favors. I'm teaching it from a standpoint of like chip bags and candy wrappers and banners, cutouts and stuff like that. But it really can be, that's where designing starts. So you're going to see pulling designs together. I'm going to show, hold on, I got to find it because Silhouette Studio shut down earlier. So I want to show you guys something. I missed where to go to fix my 7710. My son called. Can you tell me? So what you're going to do is you're going to click at the top on my name. And when you get to my profile, it's going to say my link tree. So there is, like in my bio, it's going to see, you're going to see it says, I'm going to say link tree. You're going to click on that. It's going to take you to my link tree and all of my links are there. Okay. So click on my name at the top. It's going to say follow if you're not following me already. If it does, it's going to take you to the profile. You're going to click on my link tree. If you're watching over on Facebook and YouTube, it's in the description. It says helpful links. Click on that. It'll take you to my link tree and you'll see a whole bunch of links there. Okay. Hey, Professor and all over here watching you on YouTube too, showing love and support. I thank you so much. Hey, Vicky. All right. So let me show you guys something real quick, right? I showed this in the live video earlier today, but I got to now adjust. I have to readjust y'all. Hold on. And we're going to switch y'all over. Oh, let's flip the camera. All right, hold on. I got to figure out where it's at. I think it's opening because it's taking forever. And I'm sorry, my light is going to probably, all right, let's kind of move that like that. Hold on, I'm waiting for it to come up. I hope you all can see she knows her stuff. Nowhere does anyone give you this info for free 99. Can you create a rhinestone template in Illustrator or Photoshop? If you want to hand place a bunch of circles, you definitely can. Illustrator, I don't know of a rhinestone wizard, but like if you have Corel Draw, the the rhinestone world, the program is very expensive, but they have the rhinestone wizard. But in the program itself, no, you cannot, unless you want to hand place a bunch of circles, which, I mean, it's a great beginner way to do it too. I mean, it's a time consuming, but it's a way you can do it. Purchased both the 7-day challenges and started the essentials class. Yay! I had to learn that learning the essentials is the first step to designing in Silhouette. Hey, Shakia, I think this may be your longest live. LOL, so much. No, it's not. I've actually been on live for like 6-7 hours. I've done a 7-hour live before. Hey, Hans. All right, so I showed this earlier, right? And we're actually using a lot of these images because I think they're super adorable. These 3 elements right here, right? These are they're all very different. There's subtle differences in each, but like being able to take this and kind of create stripes like for this one right here. And this is pretty much the same thing. I just made the lines gray. It just makes it stand out a little bit different. Being able to put the print at the top and create a separation bar, resize it. You can have the whole thing. This one here, there's there's a piece in the middle. Out of everyone right now, between all of the platforms, between YouTube and Facebook, there is 85 of you guys watching. Here on TikTok, there is 18 of you guys, right? So out of all of you guys, you can take these elements and I would literally have that many different concepts from this, because once you understand how to do certain things, you can make anything. So like on this one, they were doing the peace sign. So I made it to where it's like a little road, you know? And the original image, they're tilted. In the original image, you'll notice that, see, like the card tilts up. There is a rainbow right here. But in these, so this one, it's tilted up. But when I wanted to create the road, like they're zooming away, we tilted the card. You don't see the rainbow here. So there are things where you can modify it and you can layer it. So then here, this one, this is the same background as this one, but I chose to create a separator, make it look like grass, put a little road there, and keep, I made the Lisa Frank bigger. This one is just that one, and and then here you may have this in the background, but some people may like it blue. Somebody may want it this way, but you're able to like truly customize it based off of what someone wants. This one, same thing, same exact elements. I took the stars, I end up duplicating it. Okay, you can do a black version, you can do a white version. You can easily go ahead and click on this. And let's say somebody else wanted a different color. Once you create a template, if somebody wanted personalized for them, you can make that yellow. You can make it pink. You can make it green. You can make it whatever color you want. But you have to understand how to first set up a design. Okay, well, on this one, we went and we turned Lisa Frank. Maybe somebody wants, like, even though it says Lisa Frank here, we have to think of this like, what if it was somebody's name? Do they want, if you do it this way, it's kind of small without overtaking it. But now we can turn it and it can be bigger. So we have to understand design concepts such as these. And that is what my goal is to teach designing concepts, to teach composition, to teach layout, to teach how to choose the correct fonts. The 7-day challenge will be the beginning of that. This is not going to be level 2, level 3 in it. We're starting at level 1 with the 7-day challenge because, hell, look at the price, So we're starting at square one. But it's going to be vital information that if you apply it correctly, it is going to set you up to where you are not going to feel limited in anything that you actually create. When you really apply what I teach you, you will not be limited. So definitely check out the site, enroll in the 7-day. So we have 2. We have it's a 7-day challenge. Right now, I think it's $55.63. It went up to that amount. I'm just going to click on classes and playbacks at the top. So $65.63. So that's that. If you missed it, this is why you need to make sure that you follow me, you subscribe, you turn on your bell, because when I release new stuff, it's always on a discount to my live audience, because that's where I grew at first. Then there is email list. So email list is always secondary, and then live is first, like first come, first serve. Like they get the better deals when you watch my lives or you watch my videos, you watch the playbacks. Email, you're gonna be on my email list, but you're gonna get, you're gonna get the deal if you missed it, but it's better to be on my lives. So we have those two. You can sign up for both. They run from Saturday until Saturday. So from the 16th until the 23rd. I think I did add the times, if I'm not mistaken. I updated this. So yes, the times are on there. The SVG one, it is a daytime class. It's not an evening class. I have programs that I'm already committed to in the evening. So these are daytime classes, but you can watch the playbacks. Okay. I think I see someone on the site asking about an X something. What you see on the site is what we have. If you do not see the printer listed right here, we do not have anything for it. If you don't see it here, we do not have anything for it. We only carry 252 cartridges, 812 cartridges. And for EcoTanks, it's simply just the ink. So if it's not here, we do not carry it. Okay. I just happened to see something pop up, and it looks like someone asked about that T3X something something something. So did I get the best price by signing up early? Plus, yep, you did. You got it, because if you got the discount code, you were able to take the class for, if you took one class. Oh, look at all my boost and everything else over here. Geez, I know y'all can see all my junk. You got it. If you took one class, yeah, you got that one class for $25. Almost. Hold on. Let me flip this around. My Shopify flip camera. So yeah, you got the better deal if you did that, because you got the $10 discount. And even if you did it where it was just the two classes, it was much cheaper and you got $5 off. Right now, it's way more, and that discount, you're not going to beat that price to get both of them. But definitely check that out. Take Essentials. It'll change your life. There's so much in there. You may not have to ever take any of my other classes. If you can, like, if you're the type of learner that picks up on things and once you know how to use it, you probably will never have to take any of my other classes if you take Essentials. But you probably will, because I teach amazing design techniques. But that one will definitely get you where you need to be. Okay. All right. All right, y'all. I'm about to get off of here. It's been a long day, long 3 hours now. 3 hours, like literally 3 hours. So I'm out of here. All of my classes, when have I ever not had forever playbacks? Every last one of my classes, you get unlimited lifetime access to the playbacks. I've never done the whole, you only have 2 weeks, you only have this. As long as I'm able to continue to pay the bill to keep that site up. And now the way that I do my classes, the secondary site that it's on is never going anywhere. So you will, as long as you have access to that link, you will always have access to the sessions. It's lifetime access. Okay. I just purchased the Silhouette Essential 30-day course, 30 days of course and SVG course. If I'm not finished with the 30-day course, can I still take? So yes, you may want to the way that I'm going to do it, you'll still be able to follow along. What I won't be doing is doing a full breakdown of fully explaining, okay, someone may ask, okay, what does the subtract tool do? I literally have a whole day for subtract. I'm not going to take up time to explain what the subtract tool does. That's what Essentials is for. So if we are designing something and it requires you to subtract, I'm going to say, okay, we're going to take this element, you're going to put it here, and you're going to move it here. Okay, I'm going to wait for y'all to move it. We're going to go to modify and subtract. And that's what we're doing because we're working on designing. If someone asks a question, well, what does the subtract tool do? I'm going to direct you to essentials. I'm not going over what the tools do. I'm going over now how to use them to design. I'm teaching you design elements. So even if you don't finish it, you can definitely take it because I'm going to take, and I go slow, I'm going to take you through and give you time to click and do all of that. I just won't be doing a full breakdown. Oh, well, what does make compound path do? Don't worry about that. Click it and make it a compound path. That's how you do this. If you want to fully understand what it does, that's what essentials is for. So as a beginner, you can definitely take this because you'll be able to follow me click for click as I teach you how to design. I'm not teaching you the full explanation of what it does because like subtract, you can use that. I can show you 1,000 different designs that you can do with subtract. When we're in the class, you're going to see me use subtract a bunch of different ways. It's going to be totally different from the previous way. So we're just going to go and say, we're going to make this box, or we're going to bring this in. We're going to go to tracing. We're going to take our threshold up to this number. We're going to hit trace. Oh, well, what if it's a picture that has, I'm not answering no. Okay, if you got a different picture, we're working on this picture. And for this picture, you're going to take your threshold up to 65% and we're going to hit trace. Or you're going to take it up to 60, 70%. You're going to hit trace and detach. I'm not explaining what tracing does. I'm just showing you these are the steps to create this design. Understood? I took advantage of the early bird special. So yeah, you definitely can take the SVG one if you want. All right. All right, y'all, let me get out of here. It is 3 hours. I love y'all, but I gotta go. It is 10 o'clock. Until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity. I will see you guys again tomorrow. We will do a general Q&A. So for those of you who had general questions, I will be, because Dee and Eric are not on at 9. I will do my best to get back. At least then I was consistent with being on at 9 o'clock. So I will try my best. Hopefully my lighting is fixed to be on at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. As you guys know, I don't do pre-planned classes anymore, like pre-planned tutorials. You want those? You got to join my class. But I'll be on here and answer whatever questions you want me to answer when I'm on for the Q&As. All right. So until next time, have a great one. Continue to unlock your creativity. Be incredible. Be sure to give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed and follow, make sure you do so, because we are the Ivy League of creative education. You're not going to find this type of content anywhere else. All right, y'all.